agility and pace, and playing as another option up forward looks a good spot for him.
It's Fisher up forward.
Yeah, Fisher's gone to full forward out of the square. That's the significant change there as we get this one underway in round 4, and a free kick paid straight away for a centre square infringement, which will go against St Kilda.
Well, you can never trust coaches, can you? Because Ross Lyons said it'd be Goddard. Maybe it will be shortly, but Fisher started there.
Good-looking kick from Mundy, and Sandilands gets forward already.
Great break from Sandilands. Broke straight out of the pack and trying to show up Michael Gardner's lack of mobility around the ground. And Sandilands sprinted away from Gardner there. You can see him probably 10 metres, 5 metres down the bottom of your picture get away. Terrific contested mark, Jared. And this is the area of his game that he's really improving, is in contested marking.
Yep. If he can convert these shots, he grows another leg as a ruckman.
For the first of the game, Aaron Sandilands, an awkward attempt, to say the least. St Kilda's Gilbert. And first score with the Fremantle Dockers. But that surprise move of Fisher forward for the Saints.
Important first entry into 50 for Fremantle, though. As you said before the game, Jared, they need to quieten the St Kilda crowd down. And the first 10 minutes are probably the most important minutes of this game for Fremantle.
Gee, I don't know whether we can get a wide shot here, but this zone that Fremantle have got going here at the moment, just absolutely fantastic.
Every player in one half of the ground.
Of course, they perfected on the expanses of Subiaco, so doing it on this ground
got to be easier.
Makes it much easier.
Sandilands with the defensive knock away. There's McPhee. Needs something big from him. Van Berlo. Mundy with a scrubby kick there. Headland trying to break the tackle. I thought through it, but the Saints respond here. Gilbert on his favoured left side. Chiseling little ball. Snyder.
Great pass by Gilbert.
The run was good from Jones. Milne had it too high and was ready to duck under, but knocked back into play there by Broughton.
And this is the first time I've seen Fremantle live this year, and already you can see a change in the way they structure their defensive systems, Jared. I mean, this time last year they just weren't doing those sort of zones.
Sandilands beautiful down to the front. Jones arriving there to try and get on the end of it. Keeps it alive. Del Santo now. Darren Ray wasn't alert. Looks like Fremantle has switched on. Ballantyne, Van Berlo got a piece. Barlow, fast hands, all under pressure though. Around the corner. It comes from Broughton. Blake, so just a feeling out of each other at the moment, but Fremantle seem to have to look at that for a kick. Sensational kick to Johnson. Johnson goes forward looking for Main, but he's led to the ball by Snyder, and as James said, not a great effort in setting him up. There's Goddard, we thought would go forward, starts back.
Very poor kick, Jared, because that's what St Kilda love. They love to turn the ball over and they just rebound out. Fremantle have to make the most of their opportunities going into the forward 50 early, because if they don't, St Kilda will start to get on top and move the ball through into their forward line.
Great tactical game, this.
Well, so much so we've got a 2-on-1 going at the present time. Mundy's gone to Del Santo, and Clint Jones has now moved onto another player we'll get to in a sec.
Yeah, I just wanted to show this replay here of Adam McPhee missing the Del Santo tackle, and hard on McPhee, but for the player McPhee is, and for Fremantle to stay in the game, those tackles have to be stuck. You cannot let St Kilda Footy Club have that much free ball.
There's Jones in the back half for the Saints. St Kilda so good in this area. Dawson.
Jones is on Barlow, BT, your man, who struggled a little bit last week, it's fair to say, under the pressure of Ling, until Ling went off with a crook line.
Nice kick by Dawson to Gwilt.
That's the issue with the zone, BT. The gap just formed where, you know, players within 10 metres of space just can't afford that to happen.
Here's Fisher, who started in the square, and he'll get a relayed free kick down the field. Caught one in the back on his disposal by Moravito. And this means Milne will line up close to the boundary. Little Milne, chip into the corner. It wasn't fantastic. It was never going to lessen the angle. It's going to lessen the distance.
You see Joey Montagna, he is going to be in for a tough day. Van Berlo is inside him. He's grabbing his jumper. He'll have to be careful not to give away free kicks. But it's a tough ask when you're getting shaded that badly.
Sandilands looks really good in the ruck right here at the moment. Under pressure. Tarrant back in the side for Fremantle as well. And umpire said he was in the back of Tarrant. No advantage, so to come back.
That pass by Milne to Montagna, that's the Riewoldt lead, isn't it? That's the Riewoldt lead up from the scoreline, just the 15-metre lead. So you see the free kick here. And he was a bit stiff there, Joe.
He was, but the umpire called advantage. Yep. And then Luke McFarlane took the kick and he kicked it out in the full. Surely that's just a bad kick.
think that's a contentious rule in the pre-season. It's a different rule to the one it is now.
Yeah, I understand that, but once he's set advantage, he's under no pressure. He just kicked it out in the full.
You've got to see if there's an advantage in the advantage call, though. You've got to let it transpire for a second at least.
This is a different Fremantle Dockers. You see him just hunting up loose men.
They hunt the man with the ball, Gerard. That is their motto. They are manhunters. Ballantyne over the top. Here's Duffield, a real significant player in the back half. Poor kick.
He had to go then, Duffield, to Pavlich. He had to honour his lead, keep it coming wide by coming inside, turn the ball over. Crucial mistake.
And Goddard has gone forward, so Ross Lyons true to his word. He's up against Greg Broughton, so they've got both Fisher and Goddard, and here's Fisher.
In this part of the ground, Fremantle are going man-to-man, it appears, from about wing forward. They are man-to-man. Kick in was pretty ordinary to Goddard. Milne, McWalter, ducked his head. Hill wrapped him up in the tackle. Did he make an attempt to flick the ball out? The umpire's going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and Fremantle's Hayden comes out with it. McFarlane under enormous pressure. Milne. Hazelby.
Good tackle.
Didn't handball it, didn't kick it. Fisher didn't know McPhee was from behind. He did well to turn him sideways, then McPhee.
Did very well that tackle, and he sort of almost jumped on his back, BT. He was able to turn him very nicely, and McPhee is a big man now, and caused some damage at that speed.
In fact, it's his second tackle. I think he started well, just building his confidence through some of the one-percenters in footy.
Only played 5 minutes, I know, but Fremantle are matching the intensity of St Kilda at the moment, aren't they?
And the question is, can they do it for the whole game? Yeah. And they need reward for their effort here, though. This is a massive arm wrestle going on at the moment. They need reward for this sort of intensity.
Because we know that St Kilda can play like this for the majority of games.
Ferdy, what do you think about Zach Dawson on Hayden Ballantyne?
I'd like that matchup if I was Mark Harvey, because Ballantyne, is he just come off him now? And I think actually Dawson is just staying back and playing on the deepest forward, and he's just gone to Aaron Sandlane.
Well, he gets monstered by the bigger fellas, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. It's coming his way now. Here's Mundy, could have gone the long ball, went the handball instead. Wrong option, I thought. Main gave it too quickly. A little bit of a panic handball. Hayes recovers for St Kilda, and here's Graham.
And this is where we'll see if they're missing Nick Riewoldt. The movement here, not sure where to go. This is where Riewoldt provided the option. We've had to come across the ground.
Short ball to Geary. Geary goes wide to Gilbert. He's fast becoming their quarterback. The superstar Del Santo just forward of the wing. Short present up ball, Montagna. Over the top, here's Goddard in that
poor role. He had to take the front spot.
And he can kick this Goddard if he goes back. He doesn't.
Goes short, nice looking ball. McCalder let him down though. Had it in the jukes, just couldn't get it to stay.
And a fair decision by the umpire. Hazelby jumped in, but he just hawked it out with both hands.
Plays on to Del Santo, who launches from 50 with an arrow. Beautiful goal from Nick Del Santo.
Look, a fantastic kick from Nick Del Santo, who had the space. And it'll be very interesting to see now how Fremantle respond to this. There was a throw that came out, as you see the throw from Hazelby. Looked to be a definite free kick. Oh, well, in hindsight, Gerard, I reckon he actually handballed that.
That's right.
Throw, you'll give it a throw, okay.
Right.
But St Kilda now got the advantage of the first goal. From Fremantle's point of view, do they drop their heads or do they come again? Very, very interesting.
Yet to be convinced on the Dockers is Hurdy.
Well, it's not yet to be convinced, Gerald. I think what it is that for a side who's really trying to understand who they are and what they're about, if they put that sort of intensity and pressure on, they get early goals kicked against them, it'll test their character.
Hazelby into the middle, matching Del Santo.
Right down the ground, look at it from our cameras. Out of the middle, Montagna. Kick was hurried, and Silvani, who's been so important for Fremantle in their revival this year. Nice shepherd from behind by De Boer, allowing Van Berlo a chance at it, but he didn't grab it. The raised kick to the middle was really, really nice, and here's Milne.
Class movement of the footy. Van Berlo should have taken the mark. We talked about that through the week, but the turnover is, with really good skill, set up Stephen Milne to make it 2 in a row.
And it's goals from turnovers, Gerald. I mean, what happens when you turn the ball over, BT, is I'll let you call this goal.
Milne comes in. He's a specialist from the set shot. Kick on the way, a little bit right to left, and he gets it through. Saints have got their second in a couple of minutes.
Well, goals from turnovers, Jared. What happens is when you turn the ball over, your defence is all out of position because they've run thinking they're going to attack, and that's where a zone, single-man coverage, it all falls over because the players are actually going forward. St Kilda's ball movement in the last 2 or 3 minutes has been very impressive. This, again, cutting kicks, low, sharp, into a guy who can really kick goals, and Stephen Milne. Milne looks very dangerous already in this game.
Every time we see St Kilda kick a goal, the pressure mounts on Fremantle to respond.
Fremantle have got to address the Del Sando situation. He's been running free. Mundy's going well on one side, but Del Sando is doing the work. He was on Hazelby at that last centre clearance. He's already had 8 kicks.
Sandlin's attempts to take it out of the ruck thwarted. And they've got a free. I think it'll go to Crowley.
8 touches, that is. 4 handballs, 4 kicks.
Ryan Crowley. And a free kick off the ball. It'll go to Fremantle. It'll go to Main, I think, for a hold on Jason Blake.
It doesn't surprise me there's going to be holds down there because they're actually much more nimble, the forward line, or the small forwards for Freo. And I reckon guys like Blake will be a little bit toey. Zach Dawson a little bit toey if he's on a Ballantyne, and trying just to restrict them when they're 50 or 60 metres away from the ball.
So the umpire just saying to Blake, it was clearly there, that was a clear one. Here is Main, directly in front basically, only a matter of 20 metres out and he's got it. So there's a responder from the Dockers.
Important goal, Jared, to get reward for effort. Yep. I think they need to get reward as we see a bit of a blow on Blake. They would have been getting into Blake, as you see. Top of screen, here's the hold, and Jason Blake clearly holding. I mean, 5 or 6 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, you could do that, BT. It was happening all the time. But in this day and age, with the amount of umpires, the players are taught not to hold, and you cannot afford to hold anyone. Terrific goal from the Fremantle Footy Club, and gives them the confidence to go again.
Chris Main with the first for the Fremantle Dockers. Gets them within 5 in the mid-section of this first quarter.
Main's a guy that should just chop up this football ground. He's just such a nimble guy on a brilliant surface like this. He should be ultra dangerous.
Absolutely superb conditions out there. It's a great day in Melbourne. The roof is closed here today.
Stephen King, fantastic ruck work. Took Aaron Sandilands space and actually didn't let Sandilands get in. He's matching Sandilands at the moment in those centre bounces.
Crowd of players around the ball. No contact in the air from either of the designated ruckmen. And a free kick will go to St Kilda's Armbridge.
Snyder looks really dangerous on Hayden. He's running away from the ball at the moment, but I'm not sure Hayden's got the pace to go with him.
Wilt with a beautiful kick, and Goddard plucks a one-hander.
What were you saying about Riewoldt, Jared? You saying who needs him? No, I mean, fantastic mark from Brendan Goddard. But that's the advantage of getting the ball in quickly to a man-on-man contest. There's no zone, no time for a zone there. He's on Chris Tarrant, who's playing very well. Just a one-hander shows the versatility and the skill that Brendan Goddard has.
Goddard lines up. He also directly in front. Only has to beat the man on the mark, and he does. Nails the 3rd goal of this first quarter for St Kilda.
I reckon Goddard is, if they had their time again, St Kilda, they would have played him in the forward line in the grand final last year. I know they set up and they had him across that half back line, but I reckon if they had just experimented again with him, he may have been that fellow that could have just kicked the goals rather than kicking the points. He's such a finely skilled footballer.
Brendan Goddard, the versatility to play all over the ground, and one of the difficulties with where do you play him, Jared, is off half back in the middle of the ground. Though he's so dominant. He's penetrating kick that when you have got Kaczynski and Riewoldt up there, very impressive.
Is that a switch now? McFarlane's got him and Terrence loose, or has that been happening all of the game?
No, McFarlane was on Goddard earlier in the match.
Right.
Just that Silvani has dropped back. He's the loose man, and Terrence going with Fisher.
Good battle, that one. The 2-18s. Been a slow start to what you would have thought would have been a reasonably quick game. But St Kilda aren't great at strangling sides. The Fremantle of 3 or 4 years ago, the Sydney of 3 or 4 years ago. Here's Morabito. Hayden, Armitage. Hayes was harder and more desperate than anyone else.
I think the reason it is a little bit slow, BT, is that St Kilda, as you said, just strangle you and don't let you get the ball going your way. So if they don't get it out, they cause another contest and cause another ball up, so that in the end they're the ones that force the ball to go their way.
The bloke who hasn't had an impact yet, and he will assert himself shortly, is Matthew Pavlich.
52 to 32 disposals in favour of the Saints. Big Pav, here's one of their young guns. Hill will get a free.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised, Gerard, if it doesn't come down to him pretty soon.
Into the middle.
He'll go in the middle just for 5 minutes, just to get his hands on the ball.
Well, here he goes, out to the left. Hill ignores that. Pavlich with a good, strong lead. And you're back in with Dawson. Now Broughton goes long. Pavlich has got the sit on Dawson, used his body. The help by Blake was really important.
And that's why they're such a good defensive outfit, BT. They do help. I mean, Dawson was done there. Pavlich had him beaten, but Blake came over the top and forced it through from behind.
Now, that's the sort of goal that perhaps Pavlich would get at Subiaco, because it's so wide that Blake can't come across. And so, whilst Eastern State sides have trouble adjusting to the Subiaco expanses, West Australian sides all struggle here for the very opposite reasons.
And I think that's why Pavlich is more effective around the middle of the ground on this sort of ground, this size, because you can kick goals from outside of 50 at Etihad because of the atmosphere. There's no wind. Just a smaller ground, you're more involved.
Goddard marking everything at the moment. There's Fisher, got the runners wide. Montagna, little kick from the quota, got a couple of beats. Silvani closes, did well to force the throw in. Silvani, surprise packet coming off the rookie list, like Barlow.
Very good.
Sandilands in the front. Crowley, there is Barlow, 21. Head over, gave it straight to the opposition. Now it's a one-out battle. Fisher and McFarlane. Here comes Snyder.
St Kilda there, Fremantle in the pack there, had their hand on the ball twice first. Because of the pressure, a hand in, a tap, that's why they're so good, because they just don't let you have that free possession out of a ball up or a throw.
Daunting task for a designated kicker these days, I reckon. Got to have nerves of steel. Tarrant.
Away.
The winner in the air. There's McPhee. Can he get rid of it? He needs to. Baker's all over him.
Nice work from Dawson.
It was. Now Armitage. Del Santo on his wrong side. Brings it back onto his right side, which in fact is his left side. You get what I mean. A high ball. Fremantle with some numbers. Did well. Hayden involved. Broughton doesn't want to bite off too much. And here go Fremantle launching their attack from the back line. Morabito's kick, though, was impatient.
Yeah, it was an inexperienced kick, and the ball comes straight back.
Rafael Clark, new member of the side this year. Of course, played plenty of footy, but this is his first game. Good pressure from Fremantle here across their half-back line. Silvani. Here's the little fella Ballantyne, did well. Here's Barlow, just needs to chip it over the top to Hill. Hill straightened up on his left. This is a certain goal for Fremantle. Hill, good play, Barlow.
I don't know about good play and great play by Barlow. It was absolutely sensational play, BT. I mean, the way Barlow, he could have gone long. This is Mundy, Jared. I want to ask you, should Mundy know that Del Santo's going to come around his left foot as an AFL player, or is he protecting the inside, which is what you're taught to do?
I think he got confused by just the gift that Del Santo's got, and that is he's a ballerina at times.
That kick by Barlow there, that is a great kick. Most players in the AFL go long. They had Pavlich wide. Just terrific to have second choice and go left to Hill.
Super player Stephen Hill has been in really good form this year and has come of age after just 1 year to find his feet. He's been fantastic.
It was really important for him in the second half against Essendon 2 weeks ago. He had a poor record travelling in his first year, and he was poor in the first half, but he was brilliant in the second, and he started well here today.
Opportunity out wide here for Silvani again. Geez, an efficient player with what he does. Hazelby caught in a bit of traffic there. Now St Kilda retain the ball at halfback. McQualter a high ball to a contest. Tarrant did well to knock it away from the smaller Snyder. Just have a look at this earlier replay from McPhee here. He was legged there by Baker, wasn't he? The advantage was paid.
Probably a bit high.
And the result of a goal. Armitage, Farron Ray, and trying to set up Montagna, who gets support from Hayes with a shepherd. Now the big fella launching a low bullet into the St Kilda forward end to Goddard, who had it punched away.
It's lived up to expectations, BT, the game. I think it is a game that both sides are going in very hard for the ball, and the contest is still very much alive in terms of who's going to win that win the ball around the packs.
Here's Hayes.
It's a great battle going on in the middle, a battle within the battle, and that is between Mundy and Del Santo. We said Del Santo had 8 possessions. Well, that first handball we just saw a minute ago when he spun around on the boundary, it was his first possession in 7 minutes. So Mundy has tightened up on him. He's going head-to-head with him at the moment, but St Kilda got the flow, so he's got to be more negative.
And the Saints are winning the ball out of the centre of the ground, but the Fremantle half back line repelling well.
Graham launches the long ball inside 50. There's Goddard again. He got one high. He'll get a free here. Goddard.
Just better body work there.
He's smart, isn't he?
I mean, he's strong too for running play. He runs up and down that ground day in, hour after hour in a game of footage, but very strong. And I know he had the prime position to hold his spot, but still, just strong to hold a guy who's bigger than him out of position.
Definitely free kick there. You can see towards the end of that confrontation that McFarlane just got him a little high. Goddard will line up for his second consecutive goal here for St Kilda. And they're above their average in terms of goal kicking here. The Saints have kicked 4 in the first quarter, and there's still plenty of time left.
Now, Jared, we know St Kilda can keep this sort of pressure up for the whole 2 hours of the game. Can Fremantle keep the pressure up to stay with them?
Well, they have done 3 out of 3 games. Last week they had a 20-minute lapse in the third quarter. The switch was turned on by the skipper and a couple of others, and they produced a pretty fair final 10 minutes of the third quarter. So, I mean, you can have a bad game. I'm not saying that they won't, but right now I'd be pretty confident they're going to make a match of it.
Let's get down to Lee Colbert.
Pavlich coming to the bench, boys, for a rest. Has not touched the ball in this first quarter. Expect him, as you said, Hurdy, to go onto the ball for the last 5 or 6 minutes. Also, feather in the cap for Michael Barlow. He's got Jones running with him all day, which for a 4th game is not bad.
Indeed it is. Out of the middle we go again. So the Saints scoring.
I mean, it's a great sign that they're within 2 goals. Fremantle and Pavlich has yet to touch the ball. We know he's a fantastic player and he will come into the game. Hasn't had a lot of options, a lot of ball up forward for him. But
what's a win for Fremantle in this first quarter, James?
I think if they can keep the Saints where they are and get one more, get within a goal at quarter time, would be a bonus.
There go the Saints again. Armitage into the dangerous Goddard. Look at the clean hands at ground level. Tried to take the oncoming tackle on, and McFarlane nailed him. He was setting him up for the big candy sell by right foot then.
Got hit by a truck.
He did. And as a result, here's McFarlane running now and kicking inside 50. The epitome of the modern footballer. Up they fly, no winner in the air. Comes to ground. Rafal had it stolen. Clark it was to Morabito. Out of bounds on the full.
Another bloke who's struggling to have a big impact at the present time is Michael Johnson. Here's the steam trailer, steam engine, and straight over the top.
Brendan Goddard has been the focus player here. He's playing up forward in the absence of Riewoldt. If you've just joined us, and doing a fine job, has a couple of goals, plucked a couple of grabs and been instrumental in most of St Kilda's forward stuff.
Centre clearances are 5 to the Saints and 2 to the Dockers, so you just have to say at this stage they are well on top in that area, because with Sandlands at the helm, it should be reversed.
So against King, I don't know how they worked that out. I thought they were both holding each other. Here's Johnson.
Poor handball.
Over to Van Berlo, who has to go back into incoming Wilt traffic. Now Johnson with a sneaky little kick. Found an opportunity here. De Boer goes back inside. Morabito through traffic. Right foot around the corner. That was deliberate to Mayne. He actually wanted Mayne to mark that. But in the end, he kicked it himself, and that might have been Clancy Pearce.
That was a great little dodge there from Pearce. He was able to, with the presence of mind, thought that his first attempt at kick would get smothered. But Fremantle, nice movement through the middle of the ground. Johnson's handball misses target, but then he thought his way through his next kick. You're right, BT. It was a pass that didn't end up here. But see this possession here, just presence of mind, get the handball over, and then knew that kick would be smothered. That's great footwork, Jared. You don't see footwork from that from a young player very often.
Clancy Pearce, another player off the rookie list, and of course kicked 3 against the Bombers in round 21 last year.
And the big Pav, as Colby has suggested, he's on the ball.
So in he comes. Pavlich in the middle. Fremantle. There he is, the immediate clearance for the big man Pavlich. Fremantle are within 5 points here. Been a good effort from them. And St Kilda have been pretty clinical. There's Rafael Clark. Funny little handball. Let's try the left hand as now Jones goes forward. Goddard landed on his coccyx and was not wanting to get back up straight away.
Bit stiff there, I thought, Goddard. It looked like McFarlane had a fair shove in the back.
Well, he's obviously worried about him, Jared, because he's doing plenty of holding. Just a little shove, but seen less given a free kick.
King with a good front position. Kept Sandilands away from the ball there. Clint Jones. Rafael Clark's got to go. He does. Without ball, though. Sandilands. What a beautiful little handball from Sandilands in tight there with traffic hanging off the back of him.
Lenny Hayes has copped a nasty one. We saw him get a bad whack last week. I think he's gone the double and going to come off for a...
Yeah, he's got another knock in the nose. You're right, Jared.
Sandilands going forward and letting Johnson take the ruck work to isolate Zach Dawson.
Broken nose of Hayes last week, getting a whack. Ouch. There's Pavlich on the ball and already had 2 clearances from stoppages. Now, St Kilda's back line get into action. Gwilt, not quite sure what to do. The long searching handball was creative. Dawson couldn't get on the end of it. Back up there, here's Gilbert. He sees Milne on the wing. Kick arrives on the bounce. Now Fisher on the lead. McFarlane in fringe. Free kick, Fisher.
It's amazing the little things in footy, how they impact. I'll show you some vision shortly. The Ballantyne goes for a bump instead of a tackle. And instead of the Dockers maintaining possession, it quickly whips around, and now they're under pressure at the other end of the ground.
Sam Fisher, patient, in his attempts to move the ball forward. And finds King. Into Armitage by foot.
He's just trying to draw a player out so they open up a hole in that zone defence.
There's only Milne really long, as we see. Goddard's just started pushing the forward line now.
They are patient in their attempts to do this. Didn't quite come off there, but here's Snyder. He's going to try and make it work. Milne on his left. In fact, it was Snyder on his left. Missed. Curses himself.
Let's take a look at this on the other side of the ground. Fremantle in attack. Now there is a guy who is trying to punch above his weight. That had to be a tackle. St Kilda would have been nailed, and yet now they're in attack.
Oh, Pavlich was caught there. Just got his timing with his steps messed up. Van Berlo tried to get through. They've turned it over. The forward pressure by the Saints was great. McQualter to Milne. Milne goes in. Broughton is there as well. Ground level. Crowley.
Well done, though. They worked it out very well. Not so well through Pavlich, but out this side they've done very well.
Here's Hayden.
Contested possession, Jared. 28 to the Saints, 26 to Fremantle, showing they're matching them in a really important area of the game.
Gee, should have gone over the top to Morabito. He was free. Now an opportunity for Fremantle. A high ball out towards Clancy Pearce. He's a robust-looking man, isn't he?
He's a nice inclusion.
Got a rather thick torso. Goes wide to Barlow.
Well, he's got the big man in the goal square. Why have him there if you're not going to stick it on top of his head? Zach Dawson against Aaron Sandilands. Who's going to win in the air?
There it comes now, Jared. In the air, but the kick was a little short. And a free kick off the ball. It'll go for Freo. Well, I think it's Ballantyne that's going to get it.
Tell you what, I'm impressed with Barlow. Barlow up against Jones. I haven't seen Jones outrun too often in the game of football, but Barlow is getting 10, 15 metres on Jones. And whether Jones is not taking this assignment as seriously as some of the others he's been on, but Barlow, very impressive.
Really tough kick this. The angle and the way the ball works. He comes in, he makes it look really easy. Ballantyne's got it. Fremantle, can you believe it, have hit the front.
And no hype or no, it just went back and put the ball through. That was fantastic. We see the free kick here. It's interesting, you have to say it wasn't within 5 metres, Jared. That's the only reason the free kick could be given. He obviously pushed him in the front, not in the back. And as we see the kick,
brilliant.
You know how he just hunched over the ball, crouched over the ball, was able to keep it very compact, BT. I know you're big on that. When you're kicking from sort of 30 to 40 metres out, you stay compact.
It's like a Dacos.
Yes, they've drawn level. In fact, Fremantle towards the end part of this first quarter. We've played 28 minutes, and you can see we've got 2 minutes and 2 seconds remaining. They've kicked 3 of the last 4 goals, Fremantle.
And it's their little fellas that are creating the problems, not the big names. It's been Main, Pearce, Hill and Ballantyne.
Found the rhythm of the game. Morabito goes inside. Dawson with a deft little touch meant for Gwilt. There's Gilbert.
Oh, look
short
at that.
kick, horrible. That was a handball if it was anything. It was way too short for the kick. And now Fremantle. Duffield will send it forward. Bound. Here comes Pavlich. Sets himself, elevates, got a piece of it. Front and centre was good. It was. Del Santo removing the ball out of the danger zone momentarily because I think it's coming back. Hill didn't panic with the handball. Nice ball. Here's Silvani. 55 out, too far to score.
Well, I couldn't have asked for any more, Hurdy, to absorb St Kilda's attack early. Couple of goals from big name players, and then to work their way back in.
Interesting here. Pavlich not offering a lead. Obviously knackered. So he comes in, lets that one fly, and didn't have a lot of juice left to jump either. Mark Harvey.
1 minute to play. Get the pressure up. Don't let them get the ball out would be the message. Make sure that this zone doesn't get penetrated.
You asked what a win would be, BT. Obviously, this is amazing. A great win the first quarter by a point. You'd want to stay in front just for the confidence of the players.
Huge effort to soak up the St Kilda pressure. And they also go into save the quarter mode with Del Santo holding the ball aloft. Down the line he goes. Contest. Gardner got tripped accidentally by Johnson. Or just a mix-up of feet. Johnson now to Hayden's. Time here. Under a minute. Hayden wanted the 50 against Milne, arriving late on the mark. Difficult to find space in there. Headland led. And now St Kilda. Del Santo again. Started at Graham. Is a penetrating run and kick. Into space, opportunity for Snyder. What can Tarrant do? The big man versus the little man. Snyder tapped it to himself. Tarrant got him in the end. Oh boy, Snyder won part 1, Tarrant won part 2. And here go the Dockers on attack against Pearce.
7 seconds.
Need a mark inside 50, not going to get it. Blake is going to hold it up. An enthralling quarter of footy though. Fremantle won the quarter against the premiership favourites by 1 point. Mark Harvey and his men are pumped and ready to perform here on a Sunday afternoon. I think Rafael Clark, one of the players that's trying to fill that role in that sort of half-back line, starting on the pine in this second quarter, which is nothing unusual. Hill out of the middle. There's Crowley.
Nice work by
great
Gardner
pressure
to win
on Lenny Hayes to stop him getting a clean handball out to his teammates.
Graham, Snyder. They hunt the ball handler. Kick into the middle was really good. Here's Hayes. A little
That's 2 in a row he's missed with his handballs his last 2 possessions.
Barlow, even though tackle, got the handball away. Timely fist there by Gilbert, and a lovely fist out into the space for Graham to run onto from Snyder.
And people say, how can you miss 2 handballs like Lenny Hayes, and how can you miss the Fremantle possession just then? But that's what pressure does to you, Jared. It takes your mind off exactly. You're concentrating on your skills, and you worry about where the other players are.
And the amount of information you have to compute at the present time when you are poking a ball through, say, 15 to 18 players in a midfield crush is a lot different to what most others have had to compute over the years of this game.
Adam McPhee needs to give his kicker an option. He was sort of half-hearted. He didn't lead forward. He didn't lead back. And the kicker wasn't sure what movement he was going to make.
Yep, Ballard broke off half-back and wasn't sure where to place the ball. Here's Mundy. They'll have another crack, though. That is for sure. Here's Main. Strong mark. Plays above his height. Hill on his left from 60. Long ball. Pavlich turns his man around. Had too many tricks for Gwilt then.
I mean, when someone like Hill gets the ball with that much space in the middle of the ground, there's no reason why a goal shouldn't be formed. Other your structures are wrong, but you know he's got 10 metres on his opponent there, and Pavlich, beautiful body work to turn Gwilt around and get behind him.
Jared said that we hadn't seen much of him, and Fremantle in front on the scoreboard without seeing much of him. Well, here he is lining up for the first of the second. Not much in this task other than get the ball nicely onto the boot, and he does that with ease, and Fremantle urge themselves forward.
Well, this is amazing, really. I think it's amazing from the Fremantle Footy Club what we saw at the end of last year from Fremantle, and I know you've seen them 3 out of 4, well, 2 out of 3 weeks. With this one, this is this is, you've seen them almost every week, Jared, but from what we saw the end of last year to now, there's two totally different sides. Terrific play from Hill to kick it to Pavlich. Great individual skill from Pavlich to take the mark. But the impressive part is the pressure around the ball carrier, the pressure in the middle of the ground to make sure they get their hands on the ball and not St Kilda.
Matty Pavlich with his first goal of the game. 3 in a row for the Dockers. They lead it by 7 points, their biggest lead of the game. Back in the middle. Clash of the undefeated sides here. Brisbane the only other undefeated side in the comp.
I mean, there's just no easy ball for St Kilda out of the middle. They're not being able to do what they want and get it out easily. Here they come out the back, but they've still got to now work it forward through Fremantle.
And they retreated all the way to the half-back line in doing that. Now Blake comes forward with a ungamely-looking kick to Fisher that McFarlane loved.
He got the switch play. Tarrant's all on his own on this side, but they elect to go safe.
Broughton goes to the contest. Sandilands, strong, like a big gorilla. Just ripped it in. Kick wasn't great. And now St Kilda's Jones. Campbell to Graham, had to get rid of it quickly. They just keep coming at you, Fremantle. Anyone that's got a yellow ball in their hand, they are hunting you. Here is Montagna to Goddard. Goddard needs strong hands, will get the free for a chop of the arms.
We had a kick from Montagna though, Jared. I mean, there's no way that Goddard wasn't going to get that or a free kick. The only way to stop him was to chop his arms and bring him down. The kick was just absolutely perfect.
Well, he's been working pretty hard, Joe Montagna. He's been tagged hard, but got away from Van Burl. Just showed a little bit more extra pace there. Good decision from the umpire.
Yeah, you've got to be good as a defender these days, not to touch any part of the body, basically. Tough job for them. Goddard, experiment up forward has worked, and he sprayed that one out to the right, but as the boys have said, the half-back line is suffering as a result.
And even then St Kilda's movement for the balls. You see Aaron Sandlane's coming, putting his knee into Farron Ray, and Farron Ray, terrific mark from Sandlands. Farron Ray wanting some ice later on tonight.
Back.
And some glue too for his ribs.
Big Sandlands knocking every inch of stuffing out of you from behind. Hayden, gee, that's lacking in concentration or execution or something. Here's Snyder. He's going to pay for it, Hayden. Yeah. Snyder just comes in and goes belt. Kicks the goal for the Saints.
Well, it's a costly goal, Jared.
Just a bit too cute in the finish. I mean, I think Roger needs to just get back to basics. I thought that all season, having a look at him. I don't think he's had a huge pre-season. Hasn't got a big motor at the best of times.
He shanked it, didn't he?
And I think he might have changed his mind right at the last minute. Maybe he was going to Mundy first up and then saw he was covered. But, I mean, he's kicked out a million times for the Dockers. Hasn't been too many bad ones. He's allowed to give one up.
Scores a level and things are tense. Dean Wallace and Mark Harvey, old teammates, now coaching cohorts in the middle. And Snyder with the goal. His first of the game. Sandland's just monstering everyone in the middle at the moment. Montagna, if he can run onto this, has got a path to goal. Hill's chasing like I've never seen a man chase. Boy, did he step on the gas. Harassing Montagna, goes forward. Milne didn't go at the ball. Tarrant was there, had it stripped. Did well, Tarrant. And the safety of the boundary line. Let's go down to Lee Colbert. Colby.
Just getting some treatment on his right knee, Des Headland at the moment, so I don't think it's going to be too serious, but just a little bit of a rub.
Well, I know you get him back on, and he needs to get back on because he has not got near the leather today.
Hayden giving another handball.
Sold his teammate into a lot of pressure there.
Silvani, yep.
They've lifted the work rate here, the Saints. They've got to go with them now, the Dockers.
There's Milne, picks it up, high balls it. Now King's the danger here. He's got the athleticism and the height, trying to burst through Armitage. Here's Goddard, he's smart. He can conjure something up. It went backwards, the kick, in fact. Now Graham will be involved in this passage of play. But De Boer just puts his head down and said, I'm just going to bore through you.
She's on right now, BT. They have dead set just thrown him into overdrive, the Saints. Let's see what the Dockers have got, because the Saints are about to work him right over.
They have indeed. You can feel it. You can see it. Hazelby. Del Sano stripped them all. Grabs it, turns around, fronts the goal, and just puts it on the boot. Successive goals for the Saints.
Hazelby's hand pass there, a poor one, and tried to get it over the top of Del Santo. Del Santo won the ball and then turned onto his foot and kicked the goal. Great skill by Del Santo, but I think if Hazelby had his time again, as we see the tap come down, under pressure obviously, tried to get it over the hill there, and fantastic play by Nick Del Santo. I mean, that is great skill to win the ball firstly, but then under pressure, the composure. You see a lot of guys, Jared, win the ball, spray it around.
Yep.
Not Nick Del Santo.
Nick Del Santo with his second goal of the day, and they've turned it up. The heat's on now. St Kilda, as Jared has alluded to, are all over Fremantle all of a sudden.
Well, they've just got to go hard tag now on Nick Del Santo. He is dominating this match, kicking goals, getting plenty of possessions. They can still have Mundy being a attacking midfielder, but they have got the lockdown on Del Santo.
Stephen King having awful troubles getting around Sandilands at the moment, as Silvani's ball is beautifully presented to Mayne. Mayne takes the mark, 65 from home. There's the forward line. Pavlich comes to the pocket and then pulls that back, and Mayne says, OK, I'm just going to retreat and go backwards to Duffield.
Which has allowed the big giant to push into the goal square. He's got Zach Dawson. Now, Zach's had some big jobs. This is one of the larger ones.
Zach has come off not so well against the bigger men, but that was a great mark by from McFarlane. Here it comes. Silvani goes in towards Sandilands. Pavlich is there as well. Sandilands got a hand on it, knocked it down. Pavlich, ricochet ball, comes to McPhee, shot on goal, missed.
It's good play from Fremantle, move it around. I thought they'd made a mistake by going so far back. That's what St Kilda wants you to do, but took a nice mark from McFarlane to then break the play open, and a nice play down the middle of the ground.
Colby, I'm just wondering what you think of Headland. We just saw a shot of him sitting back on the bench. Do you reckon he's going to play?
Yeah, he'll play, mate. He's just up and down the boundary line now. He'll be OK.
OK. Well, wide to Geary. One of the newcomers in the St Kilda side. Played 29 games, though, over a period of time. And on the half-back line. Kicks to the wing. They fly Hayes.
Front and square. If you want a lesson in how to row the pack, have a look at the replay when we show you Lenny Hayes, front and centre.
Fantastic it was. Montagna, Milne, beautiful pick-up. Got it to Graham. Clever tap in favour of Montagna. And now the kick to Goddard. That kick was weighted, so it drew Goddard like a magnet to the ball. He then sends it inboard and has found Armitage 25 metres out.
I want to come back, Jared, reincarnated as a player leading to Lee Montagna.
Let's have a look at Lenny Hayes. There he is, just front of the square, front and centre of the pack. And just controlled the ball enough to drag the free kick.
Look at that kick, beautifully weighted under pressure. You just love to be leading to that guy.
Armitage directly in front. This will be the third consecutive goal for St Kilda. Starting to edge their noses in front. Armitage comes in and misses. To the left-hand side, a bad miss.
You make a very good point, BT. Very important 10 minutes now for Fremantle Footy Club. St Kilda have got on top with their possession, with the hardness around the ball, and you release guys like Montagna and Goddard, Del Santo, Graham, even with his kicking skills. They need to get back on top, Fremantle, and get their hands on the ball first.
Well, begin that by, I guess, their guys that are closing down, reassess where they're starting from. Crowley on Hayes.
That's a good mark to Goddard.
It is, isn't it? The other thing you don't know, Jared, is how much the first quarter and a half has taken out of Fremantle. The emotional pressure of getting up.
De Boer drops a mark he should have taken in the end. Here's Farron Ray. Under the heat there, Fremantle. Barlow. That's a sensational handball under pressure. Tell you what, there's a lot of people saying, can Barlow do it under the heat? He's doing it nicely here today. Here's Rafael Clark, squeezes the trigger, got it to Del Santo. Graham's a thumping kick of the ball. He got one high. That'll come back, and that'll be a Graham free. Right on 50.
Look, Silvani obviously made the mistake of going a bit high there, but if that tackle hadn't have come the way it did, that was a goal to Graham. That was on target. He dragged it wide, so although it's a free kick, it was reasonably good play to stop the first kick going for goal.
There is the tackle. You can just see the arm over the top of the shoulder, and as you say, James dragged him down to the right-hand side, which is in effect where the ball went. Silvani on the markers. Graham is renowned for his long kicking ability. That one.
Not his accuracy there.
Not his accuracy. Yeah, not afraid. That was a horrible.
Let's miss the goals by 40 metres.
Yeah. To see them just kick straight through the ball rather than try to round hoof it from there. Fremantle supporters sitting home in Perth would be just holding their seats firmly at the moment to see whether they can withstand this burst of pressure and skill from St Kilda.
Just what the Saints have done a lot better this quarter, though. That is to lock the ball inside their forward 50.
And it's meant the inside 50s are St Kilda 5, Fremantle 2. Inside 50s is one thing, but getting it over the centre of the ground. I mean, Freo have only been over there 3 or 4 times this quarter.
Crowley's been pinged for sucking the ball in and not getting it out. It'll be a McWalter free.
I think it's time for Pav to go on with the ball again.
Yep. Well, he made a difference when he went on that first quarter, towards the end of the first quarter.
Gives it to Graham, and his second launch from there results in the same. Out of bounds on the full. Unusual for him.
Montagna back onto the ground. He's had a bit of a rest, so he'll be fresh.
Geez, it's been a while since Fremantle have got it over their halfway mark.
You've got Pavlich and Sandlands long down the line. I think that's where he's going to come.
And he does. Sandlands in the right spot is being held by Montagna. He'll win a free.
Pavlich is free if they can go along to him.
Sandlands has thought about the short kick to Barlow. And he retreats with the easy one in the end of McFarlane. Now they set it up from the Dockland side of the ground. Sandland's been fantastic today. 11 hit-outs, 4 clearances.
That's a
already.
shocking kick.
King just the 3 hit-outs.
He has kicked that to 3 St Kilda players and 1 Freo player. Had to be smarter than that.
And it's about a attempt by Ballantyne. I mean, I know he was 3 out, but he's just got to punch it across the line, doesn't he? Take a defensive mindset so the Fremantle can start again.
There's Pete playing against his former team. Left the club of his own volition last year and has walked into a premiership favourite side. Fal Clark. Short ball to Quilt. Very patient they are when in this position, not flustered and forced to move the ball forward if they don't want it. Kick wide is pretty good to Fisher. Knocked away from him. Now Duffield to set up. Wants to go to the boundary. Kick is good though. Silvani.
This is where Fremantle are breaking down. Well, they have done this quarter, BT. Just not the options they need to. Adam McPhee just stationary as they go to him now.
Silvani in the Pavlich direction. McPhee got upset in his run as well. Lucky not to infringe, and St Kilda players collide there. And then eventually Crowley just trying to march out of the trench with the ball.
This is a win for the Dockers because it allows Aaron Sandlands to come in and hopefully get first use of the footy. All King's doing is putting a block on him. Gets it anyway.
They seem to have just weathered the mini storm momentarily that the Saints are pouring on. Fremantle at the moment. Here's an opportunity, wide open. Milne, Watley do threw the ball out in front. How does the umpire deem that? He says play on, fair enough. Now Silvani, got to get rid of it. Waited a little bit long. Van Berlo's got a player out wide in Duffield. Brings it back inside. Here's Clancy Pearce. Long ball. Pavlich has got the sit on Clark. Pavlich with a double juggler. Couldn't get it. And have a look at Stevie Milne here. Was he staging for this kick or not?
I thought he was a bit stiff in the finish because he handballed it to himself, then he was legged.
Yep.
And at the other end, guys, that Mark Hayes will be giving it to Pavlich for not calling him in, not blocking him and calling him back, which he should have done.
Sandlands dominant in the ruck. King has not had a ruck knockout this quarter, or Gardner. It's all been Sandlands.
Just a different game the Dockers are experienced at the present time. They don't play in this amount of crush for the entire match when they're playing at Subiaco. They're doing pretty well to deal with it at the present time. But
very true. They like their space, don't they?
Well, they get used to it. That's the game they play. They can only play on the ground that they play on 12 times in a year. But they're going to have to get used to it because this is where finals will be played if they can't take a top 4 spot.
And St Kilda also dial it up a bit too by playing a 3/4 ground type play. I mean, the ground's smaller, but the way St Kilda plays, they just jam one end of the ground and then try and break on the way out.
Clancy Pearce. Short balls touch, so Mark won't be paid to Headland. He was tagged, but Duffield's going to get on the end of it. Needs to be clean. Didn't panic. Hazelby. Now Silvani drills the ball long. And that's a shocker.
A couple of possessions from Silvani just suggests he's, got another level of experience to go, which is natural to get used to this pressure.
St Kilda 2 players short here because there's 2 Interchange gone off the ground, so they'll look a little sparse in defence, but they'll have the extra numbers the next kick over if they can get it. They can't, as Morabito punches the ball away.
Fremantle have kept it in their forward line for, I'd say, the last 3 to 4 minutes. Important when you get this sort of pressure, Jared, that you kick a goal, because you don't get the opportunity to jam it in here for as long very often.
2 goal to 1 quarter in favour of the Saints.
Fast breaks what the Saints will be looking for.
Jones, main or mark.
Got a man right on the other side of the ground who looks the most dangerous.
Pavlich wanted it over the top of all of the traffic. Now has to come back to the ball. Duffield. Pavlich has given up inside there. You can see him in the goal square, just near the goal square. He stopped running because there's just nowhere to run. There's no space.
They're not big on this one.
This is where St Kilda press out. Unless you can find a hole now, that's what they want you to do, because they'll keep coming up at you.
At least in doing this, it brings a lot of players out of that space. So if they do get a fast break, Pavlich may get some space, which he's got. But Hill hasn't seen him, and so it gets clogged up again. 16
minutes since Fremantle's last goal. Here's Hill. Driving ball on Crowley. From behind, Dawson went high and punched the ball, did well. Del Santo was intelligent, so was Clark.
Just great quick hands, BT, to move it out of that tight area.
Baker. High ball on the head of King, I think it is. And Gardner it is, in fact. Over the top. 2-on-1 here. De Boer accelerates to it. Did well. He won it. Johnson's going to drive it inside 50. With his non-preferred side, Pavlich out of position. And Gardner takes the mark. Pavlich led up the middle. Had to come back. Foul Clark. So really struggling to look fluent up forward at the moment, the Dockers.
Yeah, it's exhaustion time right now. They're red time for the lactate to be affecting the body, and then it affects the mind. And you wouldn't be surprised if a side, and particularly the Saints, got a 2 or 3 goal burst here in this final few minutes of the second quarter.
Del Santo to Ray. Ray a driving ball forward. Duffield holding his man behind the play. I'm sure that was a free. Sandlands did the front and centre work. The big man released his arms as well. Barlow does that beautifully all the time, I've noticed. McFarlane wide, and here's Hayden. Hayden chiselling ball to Main. Stretches the Dukes out in front. We like that.
Good
Headland. Now they look good. McPhee's loose. Headland goes long. And that's great to Pavlich and Hill mark. Well within range.
When the game's wide open, the Dockers actually look better than the Saints. When the game's in the crush, Saints probably by 5%.
I mean, when you've got the Saints pinned on their back line, you're almost better off letting them pull out a bit, because, I mean, you add some space. And terrific kick by Headland to Pavlich, who for the first time in the last 10 minutes has had some space. But if you keep going at the St Kilda Footy Club when they're pressed deep, they don't give you any space, do they?
Matthew Pavlich just asking the umpire how many steps the St Kilda player could come forward, and he said 2. Here comes Pavlich. Right behind this one. Kick on the way. Looks damn good. Pavlich gets his second goal of this second quarter.
Well, that's a pressure goal, Jared. I think that it's exactly what the Dockers needed. They had some space. Terrific kick from Headland, who's got great skills when he gets the ball. Pavlich out in space. But that's the sort of kick that you expect a champion like Pavlich to make, don't you? I mean, it's under pressure. His team needs the goal, and you couldn't fault him in any way just then.
Oh, it was a magnificent shot. I'd like to see Des get the ball as well, because he does hit targets. They look better when they can widen and get some space here, the Dockers.
They have weathered the storm here. The Fremantle Dockers. Scores a level.
Scores a level, and look, the next 4 or 5 minutes is very important. I think it'd be interesting to see Des Headland get his hand on the ball more, and also Adam McPhee. Need more out of those 2 players.
There's Mundy. Falk Clark went without the ball. Barlow head over it.
Very impressive, BT, this guy. I mean, he's already had a fantastic first 3 weeks, and again, his game today has been quite impressive.
Has indeed. Really good in tight and doesn't mind the physical stuff either. Here is the man Jared likes the ball in the hands of, and that is why he was let down on that occasion by Van Berlo, who dropped a mark he should have taken. Peak. Goddard.
And it could cost him a goal, BT. A drop mark on half-forward line against St Kilda.
There we go. To Mundy.
Good boy. from Seymour has stolen the ball. Mundy kicks long to McPhee, who never looked like he was in the contest. Pavlich at the back is 1-on-2. McPhee, a really good desperate tackle. Threw it up in the air, chance for the Dockers here. Handball comes back to Hill on his favourite side.
Headley.
Left foot lines up, he is good. He has got it.
Wow.
Fremantle bite back and have hit the front by a goal.
Yeah, it's lactate time. 2 goals for the Fremantle Dockers. Thought it might have gone the other way, but it's always at this stage of a tight match that there's going to be a little break.
And haven't had a lot of the ball out of McPhee, but this is what he's in the forward line for. We want him to get more of it. That tackle caused the goal. As we can see, Fremantle then able to work it out. And Stephen Hill, you know, Jared, you've got to say that you're impressed by players the first time you see them, and we're all impressed by him and wondering how good he can get. Amazing the way where he is now.
Stephen Hill with 2 goals, and that leaves Ross Lyon to ponder. And McPhee coming off under the blood rule as we speak.
Terrific tackle by McPhee. You have to all credit to him.
Last 2 goals here, the Fremantle Dockers leading it by a goal. They have proven resilient here today. They copped about 7 or 8 minutes of St Kilda's best. Withstood that, didn't let the game get out of reach in that time. And now we close in on half-time with them leading by a goal. Remarkable effort.
Yeah, it's a big punch, but to no advantage.
Hill running down Baker.
I reckon his midfield players or his small players let him down there, Jared, because he wouldn't have done that without telling someone. He would have said, I'm going to hit it long and wide. If you've got something going on, only presuming. But the Rockman doesn't punch it unless he's told the blokes where to go.
I think one of the stories of the emergence of Stephen Hill, in particular this year, is the fact that you just have to wait for draft picks. Last year, Freo copped heaps of heat because Daniel Rich was taken 7 and Stephen Hill was taken 6. Now, Rich was sensational last year, but Stephen Hill has been a pretty handy player, and I think he's justified their selection because his pace and his kicking is going to be brilliant for Subiaco for years.
And we all admire his skill, but the one thing the Fremantle Footy Club is so excited about this guy is his defensive skills as well. His pace enables him, and his ability to run down tacklers and defend is fairly underrated.
There go Fremantle. Silvani. A little chipping handball over the top. Tarrant kicks inside 50 without great direction there. Comes out for the Saints. Baker. He high balls one to Johnson. Johnson from a long way out.
This is where they almost need to work the clock down and get one more shot at goal. There's 3 minutes. They've got possession of the ball. They'll be able to hold the possession of the ball for as long as they like, because St Kilda will push back and then try and just get that one last shot at goal.
Ball comes back in now, an opportunity missed by Van Berlo as Milne takes it away. He sees Montagna in the open. Only Tarrant between him and the goals. Gives it to Goddard. Goddard for his 3rd goal with a low ball. Something out of nothing, the Saints. Boy, they can hurt you in no time.
Well, that is the great sucker punch for the Saints. They want you to take the long option. They like it to go in a bloke's hands who thinks he can kick the ball long, that Chris Tarrant can do. But have a look at it. I mean, it's just a very, very 50-50 ball. The Saints closed in, then the fast break is what they love doing here at Etihad Stadium. They've done it so well for so long. Yeah. The patience is what you call for, Hurdy, and that's what they needed to do, maintain possession.
The worst thing about that kick from Chris Tarrant is where they turned it over. You can't turn it over at the back of the square, because you turn that back of the square that quickly. As Adam McPhee, we see him in the rooms, came in for the blood rule, I think, but he's probably going to be sitting out for the next 2.5 minutes till half time. It was a great tackle, and fully committed, hit his head or his cheek when he tackled him.
Some stitches or hemorrhoid cream onto that to stop the flow of blood. I guess they've taken the ploy that there's only a couple of minutes left in the half. We'll get him into the rooms and do a good job on it.
An interesting one-on-one.
There's Hill.
But you're right, Jared. I mean, St Kilda, that is the sucker punch. I mean, Fremantle could have worked it if they were smart in the 3 minutes to have one last shot at goal and deny St Kilda the shot at goal. Just kicking it away was it was probably something you'd expect from a younger player.
Here we go, Headlam. Tempted to go forward, plays on now on his left side, a long ball. They go in deep. Will they give the ball up? Morabito was there. Gilbert kicked it out of his hands, so Fremantle have got it in a good position here. A minute 48 remaining in the half.
Well, they changed Fisher Hurdy, just 5 possessions. Not getting a lot of it.
Yeah, I mean, it depends what you're wanting, whether you're wanting him there to keep one of the Fremantle players honest or why he's there. But if he's there to kick goals and be creative, that doesn't seem to be working.
Pavlich had his head over the ball, knocked it out. De Boer tries to burrow his way out. Milne, a sneaky little handball to Gilbert. Didn't get a lot on the ball, so it's all locked in Fremantle's half at the moment. Crowley happy to concede the boundary line. 46 points apiece. A minute 25 remains in the half.
Been a good battle. Crowley has had much of the ball. Hayes on top this quarter, but particularly the first 15 minutes. But I reckon Crowley locked down on him for the last 10.
And when Hayes has had the ball, he's been under pressure too.
Sandlin's gone deep to the goal square again in hope of a long ball in. Pavlich come up on the ball now. Hill will dash onto his left here. Thought about it, but cut off beautifully in the end by Dawson. Now Hayden. Got Mundy in the middle if he wants. Just kicks it over the top to Silvani, who found a bit of space. Silvani tempted to go wide to Duffield, and he does now.
Had plenty of it this quarter, coming up for his 10th possession.
Runners have been out there and alerted the players to time left, so they'd be well aware. They'd be into the last minute.
Big lead on from Main.
Here comes Main. Got to get over Blake. That won't happen.
Interesting, just looking at the hit-outs. Sandilands has dominated 17-7, but hit-outs to advantage. Sandilands just 4, which is probably a big figure for the average ruckman, but the Saints none. So they are just happy to compete when it hits the deck.
Gonna have the last crack at it here, the Saints, as they move the ball forward. Little proppy kick around the corner, long ball behind. Fisher got the height over Hayden.
Probably leading there for the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, they've got him again, Gerard. I mean, they caused a turnover. St Kilda again. Fremantle have to be careful when they're going into their forward line. St Kilda, as you said, want that long kick.
I think he can get the journey from here. Siren is going to sound before he starts the run-up, so he'll know. Scores a level. Fisher has to kick the ball 55 metres. Comes in a tight first half of football. Fisher, who's been quiet, kick on the way to the square, won't get a score, in fact, and we go in at half-time, can you believe it, with scores locked at 46 points apiece. Fremantle will feel they've done a great job. The Saints, they ponder.
I don't think he's playing in a body strength position now. I think he's got to work on his mobility and his agility. If it means dropping a couple of kgs, well, that could be the difference in his survival.
Gerard Healy and James Hird there, out of the middle. Fremantle immediately into attack. The big man's got down and taken the march.
He's done the tap in the middle of the ground, then run. It's a great play.
That is remarkable.
Not sure about the kick, though.
Kick had a bit of the sameness about it, didn't it, in the middle? As Fisher marks in the end.
And Fisher, as you can see, has gone to defence.
I think Jason Dunsall had a rule change he wanted brought in last night, and that was don't let the ruckman kick.
Zach Dawson. Is that Zach Dawson at full forward? It certainly looks like him.
Yes, it is.
You're right, Gerard.
McFarlane's got him, and he presents now for the ball. But
and Goddard back.
So mixing it up, Ross Lyon and his coaching staff at half-time. Intriguing stuff. Fisher to Graham has found space. Broughton will try and cut that down. Kick inside to Snyder. Got to be strong overhead. Tarrant did well. Playing on the smaller body in this game, Chris Tarrant.
I think it's a good move. I don't think that they had a genuine match-up for Zach Dawson. They were playing small fellas on him, and then he was having to contend with
really good play by
Tarrant.
Sorry there, Gerard. Realised that Duffield was beaten by Milne, and swap man, great play from a backman.
If he goes into the rotation off the bench, you get nothing out of him, Gerard. I guess it's a good move to at least try and forward.
He may even be there as a negative play because Luke McFarlane has had 15 possessions from full back, so he is giving them plenty of run as well.
There's the little poor by Ballantyne. Goes wide to Hill, got a poor bounce and allowed Ray to close him down. Hayden ran over the top of the thing.
You see, he didn't want to go down and pick that up. He has had some hamstring issues, and we saw it there. He didn't want to get down to ground level.
Yeah, he didn't. In fact, looking a little proppy at the moment. Hayden, as the ball goes forward, the hands of Milne. And now McFarlane. They spread here. The Fremantle Dockers. Tarrant, Mundy involved. Around in circles. Now they see Hayden.
Great play.
Hayden can go forward. Ballantyne's on if he wants to use him. Goes wide. And that's a hold against Johnson. Against Blake it is for Johnson.
He actually looked wide. If he had looked up into the middle of the ground, there was a great push out by Pav on Gwilt, and he was charging through the centre corridor, but he missed him. They get a shot anyway.
Really, really tough shot at goal. This, you either got to be able to swing the ball in the air left to right, or you've got to aim it outside the right goal post and go the other way. It's a real tough kick as Johnson comes in. Kick on the way is absolutely pinpoint and fades in his last moments of flight to hit the post.
Let's just go back to Roger Hayden. He has had some hamstring injuries, and just have a look at this. He did not want to get down to that ball.
Great pick up. Great pick up, Jared. And Roger Hayden, important to the back line of Fremantle. Fisher, as the boys have noted, has gone back to his role in defence to try and give them some more drive and stimulate a bit of run. Montagna, and the hope is that Dawson can pluck something up forward for them. I don't think we'll see the end of Goddard up there either. I think he'll be up and back. Jones. Graham. Here is Goddard. Chip over the top. Milne. Doesn't attempt the mark. Turns around. Wants to take Van Berlo on. Put it into a dangerous spot. It's a 2-on-1 Fremantle here. Hayden did well. Mundy helped out. Now Hill.
Dangerous.
Likes to get on his left, remember. Thought about going inboard. Del Santo did well to protect that region and made him overrun. Gee, I thought it was a short overrun.
Yeah, only just, if it was. And look, but great to see a player take on the game. I mean, it's great play. Sorry, it's not great play. It's great intent. Maybe a bounce there would have helped, but just great to see young players take the game on like that. It's exciting to watch.
Smart play for Del Santo to protect the left foot inside from Hill as well. Force him outside. Montagna. Goddard presents, he ignores that. Now Montagna goes wide looking for Gardner. Never going to get to that contest. And now the troops arrive. Here's Barlow. Gave a handball to himself and got it.
That's how he's getting all those possessions, BT, doubling up.
Is that a double receive, Glenn Luff, for champion data? There's one for you. Now Hayden to Mundy.
Good start for the quarter from Mundy.
Yeah. Not sure what to do with it. Gave it to Sandilands. Mason Dunstall doesn't want anyone looking like him to kick the ball. And here is a free kick to Pavlich against Gilbert. Let's have a listen. Got your arms wrapped around him, holding on him, not even looking at the footy. You can't argue with that.
Another important kick, obviously, for Matthew Pavlich, which just gives Fremantle the confidence after they've had a dominant 2 or 3 minute period to hit the scoreboard and get that scoreboard lead. That puts St.Kilda under pressure as the quarter goes on.
Pavlich lines up for goal number 3 of the game. 35 out directly in front, sinks the slipper, and the goal umpire doesn't even bother to move. Pavlich ecstatic.
You have to say, Jared, that Pavlich hasn't had his hands on the ball up at 3 goals. That's why they like to leave him forward there, because the limited opportunities. I know he didn't take a mark, but he does cause the back line so many worries. Fremantle here, it was pretty good ball movement. I mean, you probably don't want Sandlands kicking the ball, but you know, obviously Pavlich has the presence of body to get a free kick.
He liked it.
Matthew Pavlich with 3 goals. He wants players to go back and clear out and give him some room, and why not?
Your red light going off in the St Kilda coaching box because Freo are out St Kilda-ing St Kilda. It's 10 contested possessions to 4 in this quarter, and they're on top early.
Nicely put. Ball inside 50. Here's Milne. The little cheeky one. Takes the bounce. He'll go the handball over the top. No, he doesn't. Dawson was there, but he kicks it, and a responding goal from the Saints.
And it shows the importance of winning the ball out of the centre of the ground, and often doesn't matter how it comes out, Jared. I mean, we see King here just causing Sandlands, no clear tap out, goes to King, who gets the kick out, just any old kick over the top to Milne. Great body work from Stephen Milne, and that's why he's so dangerous, because for a small guy, he gets his body on the right side of the goals of the ball and uses his pace to kick a terrific goal.
Steve Milne gets his 2nd goal, brings the Saints back to within a point, so they ain't going away here yet. Classic battle brewing here. Two unbeaten sides. Graham. Long ball to Milne again. Tarrant gives chase, got a claw there to knock it out. Milne turns him inside out. Tarrant just hanging on. And over the line, out of bounds. Fans not happy.
No. Another example of Chris Tarrant, his defensive work, just the hassle. Milne should be able to take this and go, and maybe a little free kick, but terrific play by Tarrant.
Marginal. Scrap for the ball, desperation. Montagna at the bottom. Fierce ball to be won here.
Interesting role that Sam Gilbert's playing. He's on Michael Johnson, who, as we know, goes into the ruck. He's actually right up as a ruck rover at the present time. So he's playing centre-half forward, but just pushes up often as another midfielder. Here he is. He had 11 possessions so far. He had 27 last week. And he's yet to have a goal kicked on him this season.
Pavlich probably has to come up on him, I think, Jared, to stop him. You know, Pavlich is 5 metres off him at the back. Just come up on him and stop him on that occasion.
Every player on the ground forward of the centre circle. Mundy, therefore, got a lot of traffic to kick into. McFarlane sees something wide that he likes, though. And it's good.
Running hard to McPhee.
It is indeed. Broughton goes a long ball. McPhee, did he hold the mark? He's claiming it. But it's going to go the other way to Geary.
Had to do better than McPhee, Jared.
He needed to put his knee right in his back and take a genuine jump at it.
Or even just bring it to ground if he thinks he's going to be outmarked. Bring it to ground so his crummers have got an opportunity.
There's Peake. We can know he run, but he...
Well, that's what they need, B2. I reckon.
Terrific kick there by Peake.
At the moment, Freo look like they've got a little bit more run, and they need blokes like Peake to start getting on their bike.
Montagna. Milne in the pocket, goes to Dawson on the lead. Duffield did well to get back into a difficult hole. Really brave.
Yeah, poor kid.
Hazelby's kick, turnover. Gilbert says, come on, someone come at me. Goes long. Here comes Dawson. Goddard at the back again. Leaves it over the top. Milne. Kick a goal. No, he gives it to Goddard. Goddard to Jones. Jones into the open goal. St.Kilda 2 in a row.
Well, it was a bit of midfield butchery there by Hazelby. It's not been too often we see him give the ball away, but it was a shocking turnover and just a great rebound by the Saints. They stayed on the ground. Blokes jumped all over it without hitting it. It was poor play, full stop from Freo, and great play from the Saints.
And what they're able to do, Jared, at St Kilda, is they've got space in their forward line because of these turnovers. Fremantle aren't able to get back quick enough, which creates the goals. And BT, goals from turnovers, I've been saying it all day. Fremantle, of course, there's been 3 or 4 occasions where that sort of breakdown of play in the middle of the ground have cost them goals. And to an extent, that's what's kept St Kilda so close to the game. Colby, is there's an injury down on the boundary line.
Well, Chris Tarrant just came off the ground, but at this stage, I'd say it's probably just a match-up with Milne, but he is a little bit distressed.
I think he might have got a knee in the buttock. He grabbed his back or his buttock at that last contest, Colby. We'll take a look if we can on the replay and bring it forward if we've got it. Let's take a look here. He gets a whack. He immediately goes down. It's either the hip or maybe a little bit more central.
Silvani, whatever it is, he's in great discomfort. Silvani kicking hope there, really. In front was De Boer, couldn't hold the mark. Here's Ballantyne. He's the Milne of Fremantle, if you like. At that end of the ground, he hasn't been let loose tonight. Kick comes back inland. Farron Ray had to work hard.
Needs to lift Farron Ray as one of their runners. He hadn't had enough of it. Just 6 possessions.
Back wide to Armitage. Mundy gets there, makes him earn it, brings it to ground. That was really good play by David Mundy. Of course, the boy from Seymour once kicked 17 goals against Heathcote, playing for his local club St Mary's back in his junior days at Seymour.
That's one way of getting rid of a tag, and Del Santo doing it fairly easily.
Nancy Pearce not happy there either as a result of that. Now here is danger for the Saints. Lands right in the middle of the pack of players. Silvani arrives, put his head over and won a hard one against Dawson.
Well, he's created some nuisance value down there, Zach Dawson. He's been involved in a couple of clinches. That one has not resulted in a goal, but the previous one through centre certainly did.
I think you've been kind there, Jared. You need to be more than nuisance value when you move up to the forward line.
Hayden, kick goals, Jared, up there. It's the hardest position on the field to play in the forward end. Here is Hayden. Got to be a contributor. He can't hide in the back pocket. It is a good kick. Didn't quite get there, Pav. Wanted the free. Probably would have been better to knock it out because he had Valentine out of the loop.
Contested possessions now evened up. St.Kilda having a good 3 minutes.
Goddard urging his side on. Crowd quite noisy. Fantastic crowd here for this game, but then you wouldn't expect with Fremantle lacking support in Melbourne that there would be. That ball hasn't gone out of bounds yet. And will be a ball up deep in the Fremantle end.
This is not a three-quarter game now, BT. This is a quarter. All players almost in the 50-metre circle for Fremantle.
Yep, amazing scenes. McPhee, third man up, tries to get something out of it. Pavlich on the boundary line. Handball backwards. Hes Headland didn't have clean hands at the ground. Milne tried to worry him out of it and then went in for the suplex.
Fremantle here almost have to work it backwards and around now to get an access to goal because there's so many players around the ball that they've got some players back, work it out and around and try and come in from a different angle.
Maybe a big thump from the big man into some space. Surely that's holding it.
And harm down to Jones. Open field of St.Kilda get the ball and go forward. There is no one there. No point them winning the ball. Strange thing to say. Silly thing to say. Morabito. High ball. Here comes McPhee. Over the top. Couldn't hold the mark. Blake is attacked by De Boer. Got rid of it in the end. Furious passage of play. I tell you what, Fremantle really applying the pressure here.
He can kick it from there.
We kicked one last week, Jared, from a similar distance.
Thought he was going to go the spiral. A long drop punt. Pavlich has kicked a goal from 60. Unbelievable from the superstar.
And a great call, Jared. He could kick that, and he did kick that, and that is what an absolute champion does. You can't stop that sort of play. St Kilda have flooded back that to that 50-metre zone. There's no way through, and it took Pavlich from, what would you say, 60?
Yep.
And just got over. It's a 65-metre kick. There aren't many players in the AFL who can do that.
That's what Lee Matthews is talking about, BT. It's not game plan. If you want to break the zone, just kick it long straight over it.
Exactly. Exactly. Matthew Pavlich, you are just simply out of this world. A long bomb for goal number 4 and just happened to put Fremantle back in front as well.
He's been a champ for a long time, Matthew Pavlich, but last week's game, Jared, just stamped him again after probably a quiet year or two. I mean, quiet's harsh, but as a player who is at the premium, the toppest level of the AFL, and goals like that are incredible.
Sandland's great. 8 contested possessions, the most on the ground. McPhee's got a free here, but put that down to Sandland's in the middle.
Now, this will be a test for Adam McPhee. His kicking so far this year has been poor, but I think from a set shot, he's a better kick than on the run.
It's interesting what you say about Pavlich. He had quite a year by his own standards. He didn't have the All-Australian side for a long time, but I thought as a captain, it was his best year. That his
not being critical of him, but I think last week really was a stamp for him.
I think was it 7 of his 10 years he's finished in the top 3 in the best and fairest. As McPhee comes in and nails the goal. Fremantle have kicked 2 in a row, 3 for the quarter.
Look, and we've been critical of McPhee today, Jared, in the way he's played and had limited opportunities to win the ball. His kicking's been off all year, his kicking efficiency, but this win out of the centre of the ground here, Sandlands just keeps impressing and getting better every week you watch him. And McPhee, he's played a role. He's kicked a goal in the quarter, and now Fremantle up by 7 points with 10 minutes to run this quarter. You'd have to say they're looking better and have more run in their legs than St Kilda.
Adam McPhee with his first goal, and a good one put the Dockers in front by 7. Sandlands continues to do it in the middle. 9 contested possession wins, the most of any player on the ground. He has been superb. And he's getting those second opportunities.
He gets the most clearances out of the centre than any other player.
Last year, if he won the toss, Jared, or won the tap, no one was getting on the end of it. This year, he's saying, if you're not going to get on the end of it, I will. Gets on the end of his own tap. Infringement by Hayden there on Hayes.
And Fremantle have to push back hard now to clog up the forward line. The last 2 times St Kilda have gone their forward line, Fremantle haven't been able to get back. This is where they need to get back hard. Goddard free over the back.
St Kilda fans think they're getting a raw deal. Goddard just stands and delivers. Jeez. A very, very good player. Lines up for goal number 4.
Slipped out the back far too easily then, BT. He sort of lost his man and had 10 metres out the back. You just can't give a player like this the space he had at the back. I'm not sure you can see it on frame. You can't. That was a mark within 3 Fremantle players. It's still a good mark.
He's filled in admirably today down forward, Goddard. Can he continue to do it week after week for the next 16, 17, 18 weeks? That's the thing.
Well, it's going to have to be a team effort, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to do his best. He's having a year. He's going to be in the top 4 or 5 players for the Brownlow, but if he keeps this form up, he may win it.
Goddard kicks goal number 4.
I mean, admirable. It's probably a little bit more than admirable, BT. I mean, the way he's played has really kept the St Kilda forward line together and also got the ball through the middle of the ground. Lenny Hayes, a fantastically weighted kick. Lenny Hayes is not a huge kick, but just got it over the line. And you see, got it used to the body. And only one really with his eyes on the ball, Stephen Hill, probably could have made a better effort to get his fist onto the ball than what he did. And got another good goal.
I think Goddard might have lost his man in traffic there. You see Silvani now going with him, but 15 seconds before that, there was a lot of pointing as to who's picking up Goddard. I suspect he was playing midfield, went into the forward line, and yet none of the defenders took responsibility for him, so he was on his own.
Sandilands to Mundy to Morabito again. Superb. Pavlich to finish. That is classic Fremantle Dockers.
And that's exactly what they tried to do the last centre bounce, but Farron Ray was able to get a hand in to stop Morabito getting it. This time the hand pass was better. Released Morabito out to Matthew Pavlich, and that is a training drill. Watch this handball going out to Morabito. It's just got over Ray. Ray committed himself in too far. It's a lovely kick, though, too. You like putting on the end of those.
Pavlich, good mark. Super Pav lines up for goal number 5 in a seesawing contest on the scoreboard. He gets it.
It's a great game of footy. We've got the Saints hanging on. We've got the Dockers trying to build a reputation and prove to themselves that they're top class. Nice work from Mundy. He was quiet in the first half. Although he's had a terrific third quarter. And we're seeing some really good skill from a young kid, Morabito.
Terrific hand pass from, as we see, St Kilda. I think it's St Kilda free kick in the middle of the ground.
It was against one of their forwards.
So as a result of the Pavlich 5th goal, there's a free kick that'll go to St Kilda before the bounce because of an infringement in the Fremantle Dockers forward 50. It was an off-the-ball infringement, no harm done, but St Kilda, as a result, with Gardner, drive it long. Goddard got the front position, had to elevate from the standing start position. Silvani's handball a little east. The ball went hard. I think it might have been Geary or Armitage. It was just as hard. Picked up by McQualter. Shot on goal, I think, is there. McQualter gets it.
Well, this is just brilliant stuff. The Saints won't lay down. That was just great work by a number of players from St Kilda. And this is why they are a side that we regard as a genuine premiership contender. Let's have a look, though. Just a little bit of a fumble. The ball couldn't be fouled. He went hard at it. But the rebound went to Jay Montagna, who set up McWalter, and he was good enough to convert. This is brilliant for the Dockers development, Hurdy.
Yeah, it is great. I think if it's a game they'd love to win, but they're learning so much throughout the course of this game. It'll stand them in good stead.
I think that free kick was given away by Ballantyne at the other end of the ground and allowed St Kilda to get forward.
It's a costly free kick, though, isn't it? It's very costly out of the centre of the ground.
I think that's who the umpire was talking to on the audio mics that we could hear during that break. Crowley, Gardner, Hayes. If this doesn't stir St Kilda into action, nothing will. Because Fremantle Dockers have kicked 3 of the last 5 goals and they are on a bit of a roll here at the moment. Half-back Hayden absorbing the pressure. Here's an opportunity for the Saints. A St Kilda player is down. Gets back to his feet now in Snyder.
It's actually one that could find a bit more of the footy, Adam Snyder. He's had it only just 9 times. He's kicked 1 goal once, so he's playing in that small forward role.
Accidental head clash there was the reason. Here's Mundy. Had a good third quarter, as Jared mentioned. Duffield stripped to the ball. Hayes runs, was going to give it from 45. Closing. Lenny Hayes has missed. To the left-hand side. immediately back in here. The Dockers scores a level at 71 apiece. Talk about a high-stakes contest here.
Didn't get there.
Only two sides will remain unbeaten after this game. Brisbane, one of them. Who will it be from here? Mundy.
Tell you what, Mundy's picked up, hasn't he, this quarter, Jared? He's been terrific. That a very poor kick, but he's got in the middle of the contest and been very impressive.
Sandlin's has got to go, and he does.
And all of a sudden they're just breaking St Kilda down a little bit, just running back. So
And Sandlin just says to his team by way of arm gesture, let's just settle it down a little bit, regain our composure. We're just getting a little ugly momentarily.
And this is where St Kilda will try and get the long kick, Jared, that we saw in the, I think, the second quarter that cost Fremantle a number of goals, 2 goals to St Kilda. They'll try and coerce them into a long kick and get the turnover.
Clancy Pearce.
Sure. Good arm, good strength in the hands.
It was only Montagna against McFarlane, the small against the big though, Jared.
They've got it out the other side. If they can get one kick in here to Tarrant in the middle of the ground, they have got the players on the other side, but goes down the line instead.
Mundy 8 disposals in this quarter after a quietish
Well done, Crowley.
game prior to that where he had just 3. Barlow's handball was smothered by Rafael Clark.
Have you seen Crowley's game on Lenny Hayes? Heard him?
I think Lenny Hayes has probably had the better of him. Just I think that early on Hayes got away. Although a lot of Hayes' disposal have been under good pressure from Crowley.
You look at King holding 2 back there. Jones to Graham. Yeah, that one will go over the line. Right on the Fremantle interchange bench.
How do you see it, Jared?
Well, I think Lenny Hayes is damaging against the ball, but he's been limited for mine. So Crowley, I think, has done a pretty fair role. He did it on Ablett last week. I think poorly for a couple of quarters. Certainly brilliant in the last quarter.
And look at the openness St Kilda's forward line. This is how you love it as a forward. Now it's open like this.
Drawing handball from Del Santo to Rafael Clark. He goes down the line looking for Dawson. Strong overhead.
There you go, Jared.
I think he went hard on him earlier.
Dawson, long ball, good ball to Milne. Got to get back here. Milne takes the mark directly in front.
BT, that was a mongrel floater.
Yeah.
It actually wobbled its way through 3 Fremantle players.
Milne will line up as a result. Scores a locked level. Steve Milne a chance for his 3rd goal.
I still think Michael Johnson could have done better, Jared.
From directly in front, and he's very, very accurate and reliable from that position. Milne has kicked his 3rd goal.
Well, they just haven't been break them apart at the present time, have they, Fred?
No,
They've had a number of chances.
Threatened, and Zach Dawson, terrific mark under pressure. And look, it is a floater, and those floaters can fly differently. But Johnson, I don't think he had his eyes totally on the ball. Not saying he's scared or anything, but you've got to keep your eyes on the ball, and at all costs, that's the hot spot. Yeah. You don't want that ball not being touched or not being thumped out of bounds, and I think Johnson could have done a little bit better in that instance.
Stevie Milne just having a look at the scoreboard to see himself up there and kicking that goal. His 3rd, and St Kilda lead it by a goal here. 5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter.
Pavlich in the middle.
I don't think in this game anyone has led by more than, I think 11 points has been the biggest margin, which was in the 1st quarter by either side. Here's Mundy. De Boer. Barlow ran over the top of it. Montagna. De Boer out of trouble. Ballantyne went hard, but Quilt went really hard. Great efforts. Mundy, soccer out of the pack, gets there. Or was it touch? It's a goal. Mundy's kicked it.
Great effort. Absolutely brilliant effort.
Brilliant effort in the middle of the ground from when Pavlich got the ball, just forced it forward. Every Fremantle player who got the ball forced it forward. Ballantyne just went kamikaze-like with his head. Mundy tapped the ball out. I mean, in the end, it's a bit of a freak goal, but it was caused because the Fremantle players just went so hard to keep the ball going forward and wouldn't accept a loss of the ball going the other way by St Kilda. Fremantle have been so impressive today with their ability to win the hard ball.
David Mundy with a ripping 3rd quarter.
10 disposals this quarter, BT.
Did Rafael Clark get it? Let's have a look. Don't think he did. Looked good from that angle, although not the perfect angle. The ball slamming Armitage into the ground. Something the umpires don't like to see. Umpire Troy Pennell. Sandlin's just did it easily.
And Armitage now needs to lift. 12 possessions. He's got to get some hand on the ball and share the workload.
Pavlich into the middle. King goes inside 50. Here comes McFarlane in front of Dawson. Couldn't hold the chest mark. Needed to get the arms out.
Hands up.
Hayden. Back to Broughton. Ball comes back to Broughton from Barlow. It was a bit of an iffy handball. Broughton on his left. Kicks it out of bounds on the full.
Pressure.
He probably hadn't had the courage then to come across the goals. He had more across, but was a bit worried and now turned the ball over.
This one started to work itself into a very, very close finish. Sandlands with the ball. Handball off. Great tackle by St. Kilda. Got some numbers behind the ball. McFarlane not incredibly clean, but enough. Duffield spun it along the ground. Hill back to Duffield. Gee, the degree of difficulty in that kick was incredibly high, and he pulled it off to Hayden.
Probably just could settle it down a little bit here, Freo, rather than just getting totally involved in the high energy stuff, because it's in a pretty dangerous spot.
Gee, Hayden trying to get Clancy Pearce to run for that ball.
3 minutes to go in the second quarter. They actually turned the ball over when they had possession to St. Kilda, and St. Kilda are very good at the counter punch. They do get the ball, hold on to the possession, try and work their way through a goal rather than go long.
McPhee on for Pavlich, gives him a rest of 3 minutes, which means he gets probably 10 minutes rest leading into the third quarter. One of the great values of having McPhee here is another big body when the body of Pavlich comes off the ground in the forward line.
Sandlands giving away the free there. King, Graham, Montagna sees Milne out the corner of his eye. Got interrupted in his run. No free there. Main. Ball to Broughton. Broughton can see Barlow back inside. Barlow's got to be steady here and not too much in the play-on situation. Hayden. Mundy has just been blistering in this third quarter. That's about his 10th touch.
And he's one of the finest kicks in the Cape at the moment.
Johnson with the mark.
One thing St Kilda are doing really well is exposing Freo's zone. When they get at about 70, all Freo players are getting back too deep and they're kicking it to that 40-metre mark.
Pavlich 1-on-3 there. McPhee ran over the top of it. And there are the 4 St Kilda players. Fisher. Graham near the boundary line.
That's the tackle has to be made by Morabito. Can't let Graham get through. That's why they're out, because that tackle wasn't made.
Gilbert did well. Great hands down low from Milne. An open forward line. Just one person in it, and that's this man, Blake. He wants to go over the top to Del Sano. Sandlands did well, but got him around the neck. He plays on, but advantage won't be given, and it'll be a free kick to Del Sano.
I'm sure about that one, B2. I reckon if you go across the mark, you know that the whistle's been blown for the free kick. If you go across the mark, you should have to keep going.
Yeah, I think he called play on, but I think he gave him the benefit of the doubt with the advantage in the play on situation.
I'll agree with you, B2.
There's got to be a few steps after advantage is given to know whether it is an advantage or not. It certainly wasn't in that case. Here is Del Sano. This one goes left to right. Kick on the way, goes across the face.
So would you rather the Nat Cup rule be in where the player makes the decision as to whether he has the advantage, and if he stuffs it up, well, play on, or would you rather the umpire in control?
I'm quite happy with the umpire being in control. That's what they're there for. They're to control the game, so let them make that decision, and in the end, they probably got that one right.
Yeah, like it the way it is as well, Jared. Not long to go in this quarter, 1:37. This man here.
How do you beat that?
Could he win the Brownlow this year, Jared?
Oh, here we go. They're away. Fremantle. If Adam McPhee can work off his man, he should get a shot at goal here.
Main, inside 50. McPhee running hard, but Gwilt matches every step.
Look, it wasn't a great kick, but you're right what you said about Adam McPhee's ability, just his speed at the moment, his agility. He should have been able to get off Gwilt then and push and get to it, get some space, so it was a kick that set him up.
Emery throw in deep in the Dockers 50. They've got a wall set up behind the play here.
Offload.
There's Duffield around the corner with a high ball. Pavlich works back, couldn't get it. Johnson there as well. In fact, it was Johnson, Pavlich on the bench at the moment. So we've got 1:04 in the quarter remaining. Pavlich desperate to get back on the ground. 78 points apiece. And no side willing to give an inch here at the moment. Hayes out wide. Sandlands is there. Jones, fast hand Snyder. Ripping kick Snyder to Dawson. Nothing on, he'll have to wait. There's not one player forward of the ball. Now there is Blake. But he did the right thing. in holding the ball. He goes down the line, and Hayden will take the easiest of marks. So half a minute left. Don't want to make a mistake here either side.
Hill is breaking hard. He's the one that could get on it and get a goal.
There's Pearce. Morabito. Kicks wide, risky kick. Gilbert's there. Docker's got their work cut out. Snyder, 7 seconds. Kick goes to McWalter. He'll play on if Snyder marks. He'll have a shot at goal, and he does. Snyder marks. Siren sounds. You could see it unfolding.
Yep. And I mean, the same happened in the second quarter. Just when they count the clock down, you've got to have the presence of mind to use the ball better, because this could be a very costly goal.
Snyder. 35 out, 45 angle. In he comes. Scores a level. Three-quarter time siren gone. Snyder reliable from here. And that one has hit the post. And so St Kilda lead it by 1 point. Do not leave your seat, because we have got a cracking contest on here. Hasn't been more than a goal in it all day. St Kilda lead it by 1 point. Stephen Milne up in that forward line can bob up at the most unexpected times. Here we go, St Kilda by a point, last quarter action. King, Gardner it was, winning the knockout. Barlow surely didn't dispose of that correctly. Upfield fights will do it again.
I don't think he quite had it though, Beats. I think you've got to grab it before you can dispose of it. But you saw Sandilands went hard, Mundy went in hard, and then Barlow went in hard. They really want this one, Freo, and it'll be a massive win if they can get it.
A huge win if they could get over the line here, Fremantle. St Kilda, on the other hand, aren't finished with yet, you get the feel, with guys like this running around. Hayes, Milne up forward. Soccer off the ground, comes back to Dawson, clean hands, got it to Goddard. Goddard will run into the open goal and kick his fifth.
Couple of brilliant efforts there. I thought Greg Broughton did an enormous job on Stephen Milne to actually make a contest, but Milne was exceptional in getting the ball back. Let's just have a look at this contest. Broughton just totally out of position, yet gets the ball to ground, and then a nice little snap kick from Adam Snyder. And Zachariah Dawson has done the job there just with the clean hands to Goddard. Good start to the Saints.
Goddard with 5 and Dawson doing well up at the pointy end.
He did do very well up there, and good clean hands, and has shown something. Jared, you were right since he got up there. Goddard with 5 goals though. He's had a fantastic afternoon.
Back in the middle. Sandilands going at it with Gardner. Gardner will win in the end.
Couple of important balls from Snyder.
Jones, tiny little handball to Lenny Hayes, who just absorbed all the pressure and punishment. And now Baker willing to give it to Jones. Jones selling that beautifully, bring it back inboard, and it opens up for the Saints. Snyder with a low bullet to Milne. Really difficult ball to be clean at ground level. It's coming so fiercely. And now Goddard steps in.
Well, both clubs are calling for a free kick, because there was a little push from Broughton first, and then there was a grab on from Milne on Broughton.
Umpires have been excellent in this one today. Let's hope they let it run in this last quarter, as they've done for most of the game. Hill wide, St Kilda fans not happy. Opportunity for Fremantle to go forward. McPhee couldn't get down and take the low chest mark.
Pretty tough
Clark, the give and go, the bounce, the penetrating runs. Now it's all about the kick. Milne on the lead. And 50 metres, certain goal to Milne.
I'd like to see, Jared, that mark by Adam McPhee, whether he could have marked it or whether it was a tough kick, because I think that that sort of thing is the difference in this game as Milne runs in.
No one stands on the mark, and Milne kicks goal number 4.
Well, just from here, Hurdy, I thought it was a pretty difficult one for McPhee to take. Not saying he couldn't have, but it looked very low. Let's have a look now. Yeah, went through the arms.
I just think he's got to slide. He's got to get down lower and get his body underneath it, because that's the turnover. And it's harsh, but that's AFL footy. You turn the ball over in that situation. They kick a goal. You take the mark, and you're going into Pavlich into the forward line. And if St Kilda, Fremantle want to be a good side, that's what the mark you have to take.
biggest lead of the game, 13 points. Just 2 minutes into this final quarter for the Saints.
Got to get a clearance. Hasn't been inside their forward 50 in the first 5 minutes of the quarter.
They've only touched it 3 times in the quarter so far, Fremantle.
Snyder's been everywhere.
Still only touched it twice, Fremantle. Kick goes wide. Looking for Peake. Handball's in front to himself. Trying to get the kick away. Couldn't quite complete it. Umpire gave him plenty of time. Now they get the possession of the ball finally. But Barlow's under the pump. Oh boy, that was a pressure handball. Pavlich just got knocked out of the way. They crash in. St Kilda players desperate for a free, but it goes the other way. And the fans very erratic in their behaviour.
It's as though St Kilda's found another level though, isn't it? The game's been at a very high level for 3 quarters and St Kilda's gone, right, enough's enough. They've lifted. Can Fremantle lift with them?
The Dockers. Johnson, big man, couldn't hold the mark. Geary was instrumental in extracting the ball. Now Jones found a way through. Montagna always clever and inventive. Gardner at full stretch. Don't tell me another hammy, of course not. But he was at full stretch. Sandilands with a switch to play. Dangerous. Main's got to make it work. Milne applying a heap of pressure. Got support in Graham. Milne does it himself. And in the end, should have used Graham behind the ball to give them time to go forward. Tried to do a little too much.
I think absolutely exhausted though. Yeah. He read the cross really well, put the pressure on Main, who went to Grant too easily. And then Milne, just bottom line was he had to get rid of the ball. I think he was looking at goal of the year.
13-point lead to the Saints. An opportunity, Dawson. Off hands, Snyder was in near perfect front and centre position. Milne went without it. Hayden through traffic was good.
Hayden did really well to keep his feet in the end.
Mundy drawing handball. Broughton didn't go, Peake did. And a free kick to Peake.
Hootie, they've gone in long and hard a number of times in this game, the Saints. Yeah. And too often, I reckon, Fremantle's defence all go up. Yeah,
they do. They all go up and they all try to cover. And I mean, good defences can cover for each other, but there's a time you've got to stay down too and mind your man.
Hayes with the free, sorry. This goes backwards to Graham now. And Baker to the middle of the ground.
Just searching for another way into the forward line, BT. And I think they found one.
Geary has Goddard on the lead. Needs to be good. Strong Jukish mark from Goddard.
He can kick this one, can't he, Jared?
I think he can. He's not sure if he believes he can.
He winds up and he's missed it to the right. He certainly had the journey covered.
You saw Fremantle last week, boys, and they were headed by Geelong. They were pressured and they came back in the last quarter. Is this similar style of game? Have they got it in them to come back?
I think they've got it in them, but I think they've just got to control the footy for a minute or so. They have just not got near it.
Jared, 35 to 12 in disposals. Talk about not getting near it. Yeah. In this quarter. They had the freedom and room to run last week too, James. Sandilands strong.
I don't think you want Pavlich and Sandilands going for the same ball either. You've got to have them a kick away from each other because
good contest
Sandilands
there.
Gets it. He's got no one to kick it to.
There's Graham and Baker. Baker to Rafael Clark. How have you seen his inclusion this week, James? Clark. Thank you. Hayes. Short ball, Ray. Opened him up on the wing. Ray goes inside, looking for Milne.
Too smart.
Wants to body Duffield, takes him to the boundary line. The end over end ball, the miraculous goal. Milne's kick, one of his best.
It's interesting, Jared, isn't it? You're taught when the ball comes to you to try and mark it. Yeah. But I reckon Stephen Milne has a different mindset. He just protects the space. Yeah. He was quite content not to go for the mark, protect the space around the ball, and confident in his own ability. And I mean, amazing kick for goal. He does it week in, week out. But by protecting the space, he gives himself the time to get around. And unless it's a difficulty of 8, I don't think Milne likes to have a crack at it.
He knew exactly what he was doing. Stephen Milne, what a magician. He knew precisely what he was doing then. 5 of the last 6 goals for St Kilda, the last 2 to Stephen Milne. And the concerned faces in the Docker coaching box say that.
Pavlich was in the ruck there.
20 points down here, the Fremantle Dockers. Silvani, what have they got in the tank?
got to get it into the hands of their best kick, and that's Stephen Hill. He's the one that sets them up the most.
Pearce, an example of why they need their best kick in the ball.
Well, Hedlund's had a poor day. He may finish off with a couple of good moments, but he just has not got near it today.
20-point margin at the moment. Have Fremantle got what it takes to get back from here? Morabito, plenty of time, you'd think. Here comes Main. Strong attack in the air. Off hands Hedlund. The soccer in front of Gilbert. Gilbert does well not to give him the goal face.
Good attack from Chris Main. Brought the ball to ground. Didn't take the specky, but at least they've blocked it up and they're in striking distance of a goal.
One more error, Gerard, one more goal for the Saints, and I think it would be all over.
Yep.
So they are under enormous pressure to score now. Here's Hill. Gave the little handball, didn't really want to give it. Had to in the end. Del Santo flew over the top. Hedlund, the don't argue. And now St Kilda with possession to Dawson. Some dockers around this. Broughton was one. Barlow backed out, gave the handball. A little indiscriminate. Jones upended down the line.
Free kick to him.
Yep.
And that last kick into the goal square for the Dockers, there was 4 St Kilda players and just 1 Fremantle player. They just support each other brilliantly, and that's why they're at the top of the tree.
Yeah. Boys, we questioned at the start of this game whether St Kilda could find a new avenue to goal without Riewoldt and Krasitsky. Goddard with 5, Milne with 5. You'd had to say today, but the alternative forward line has definitely worked.
And Lee Colbert, is this the last rest for Sandlands on the bench?
You'd think so, but it's certainly taking its toll. Just the one ruckman in the first 4 rounds. He looks fairly well spent at the moment.
All right, here's Armitage. On his left, a high ball on the head of Graham. In they come, the fly by McFarlane. Milne was able to bring it down. Montagna on his non-preferred left side has made a bit of a mess of it, although a very, very difficult attempt.
Every time St Kilda go into their forward line now, they look like having a shot at goal or getting a goal. Fremantle just have to get their backline structures together again and try and work the ball through.
Sandlands, Hill, Main and Broughton on the bench at the moment, getting their final rest. Hayden had to give the handball, otherwise it would have been pinged for running too far. He gives it back out wide. Here's Morabito from 55, a thumping ball. What can Pavlich do? Did well, Fisher.
Wasn't to the favoured side of Pavlich, so Pavlich was 5 metres to the other side of his opponent. The kick went to the other side, to Fisher's favoured side. Fisher too good a player when he's got that sort of position to give it up.
And the kick really was under pressure, so he didn't have time to assess.
Saints by 19.
Milne on McFarlane at the moment.
Main's got an injury down there, Colby. You got an update on Main? Will he take any further part, do you think?
It's his left thumb. He'll be okay. It's just getting it strapped up now, but yeah, he's just in a little bit of pain at the moment.
You can see the doctors working overtime on that. Some sort of split webbing or something.
Well, just at the moment, they got a goal early and they looked like they were off to a good start, but Ballantyne has had little influence on this match. Got a goal early, as I said, and the same with Main. And they are 2 of the wild cards, I think, that would have concerned Ross Lyon coming in.
Sandlands and King just hold each other in a stalemate. Hayes, they bore in. You just get the feeling the juice has gone out of Fremantle. And there is that finger getting the attention from Chris Main. Stoppage work here by the Saints. Late Montagna not panicking. Del Santo on his left. Oh, there's a trip by Montagna. As the kick goes forward, an opportunity for McFarlane. Milne.
Oh, he's on fire.
He is. His body work's been sensational against a stronger player, Milne.
Milne over the top to Snyder. Snyder runs inside 50, 45, 40, 35, closing. Snyder puts the nail in the coffin.
When you watch Stephen Milne play the way he has tonight, you've got to think that he's even got more some weeks. I mean, he was played. We see here a trip BT, Montagna Probably, I'm not sure there's a lot in that. He didn't seem to get him too much. But Stephen Milne, Jared, his body work on nights like tonight, just exceptional for a guy who's pretty lightly framed.
I think it's time everyone recognised just how good a player Stephen Milne has been over the last 3 to 5 years.
Stephen Milne obviously come off a very poor week, or a very big week after Friday night, and in the media for probably the wrong reasons. And you'd love to think that you come out and play a game like that and really try and prove everyone how good a player you are, and that's why you're there, is to play good football.
Crowley, Barlow out of the middle. Mundy with an opportunity from 45 to respond, a much needed one, and it's a goal.
And the Fremantle players, not much celebration after that goal, but Jared still with 11 minutes in the game and only 19 points down.
If they can kick just another one in a row, then all of a sudden they'll start to believe.
Yeah, and I would think that, I know they've travelled, I know they've had a big 3 weeks up until this week, but if you look at their performance last week against Geelong, they were up, they were running. Another goal, I think they've got the run in their legs and to keep this game close.
Mundy has kicked the last 2. Got a blood will here.
Sandwich.
You might just have another look at a replay here. With Montaigne, you can see the blood streaming from the arm of the big fella Sandwich. By the way, Mundy has kicked their last 2 goals. As that blood will be wiped off and done in no time. So having a look here, not sure whether there's anything in this or not, and there wasn't. Basically just stood on the foot, just a clash of feet in the end. Sandlin's some attention there.
One player that's dropped out of the match for the Dockers has been Stephen Hill, who is one of their younger players, but one of their most important. Only 4 possessions since half-time.
He has indeed. There he is.
We've got to get lower there, Jared.
Yeah, he nearly gave himself a 2-week holiday.
Armitage went lower and harder on that occasion and starting to fall away now. And it was always a matter of whether they could maintain this St Kilda intensity for the whole game, Fremantle, and they've been proven not to here because the Saints are now starting to run over the top of them. There's just a minute chance at the moment for the Dockers. Let's not give up on them yet. In front of the 29,814 here today. They are just 19 adrift. Barlow through the legs of Headland.
Smart play from Morabito.
Little chip by Morabito, straightened up Pearce. Pearce from 48 goes the low ball to goal. 2 in a row for the Dockers. They might just be finding a bit.
Well, it was pretty lucky they did, because I think the nail had actually been screwed. Well, not that been.
Well, we had it out. The nail was out. But terrific play from the Dockers just to keep fighting. Morabito, clever little kick, get it over. And this guy here, just a couple of nice little goals today. And I'm not sure, that haven't been spectacular, but he's been good enough, Jared. And the Dockers still with a very good chance of winning. Next goal, I reckon BT will bring the house down in this commentary box if they kick it.
St Kilda by 13, Lee Colbert.
Been a tough day on the bench. They're all coming off both teams. Graham sore, Tarrant sore, also Van Berlo sore, but we've just seen McFarlane have his right ankle strapped, and also Main yet to come back. Well,
they're all going to have to continue to play a part, because guess what? Game on here again. 13-point margin.
Great Shepherd got it.
Armitage out of the middle. Here's Milne. Manhandled his opponent, I thought. Should have been a free. Nothing on. McFarlane, who looked proppy running around the boundary a moment ago. Broughton turned around with a short kick that finds the target in Silvani.
Not a bad find, 73 in the draft. Greg Broughton, heard him.
Very nice. So you wonder how they get through that far, but he's been very good.
Plenty of time left in this one. 9.5
great
minutes.
Mark from McPhee.
McPhee with a big mark on the wing.
Nice Shepherd from Mundy as well, but McPhee had to commit and he gave everything.
McPhee on the wing. 9.5 minutes remaining. Down by 13, Fremantle. St Kilda fans just a touch anxious at the moment. I thought it was done. Pavlich under the ball. Gardner at the back. Pavlich just ran off with it. And now Fremantle go inside and mark for Hill here. No. Punched away from him. Here's Pearce again. Handball straight to Jones. Although Jones ran into a dead end as well in Pavlich. Boy, it's a tough ball to be won in there now. Tackle there by Rafael Clark. And we'll ball it up just outside the Fremantle 50.
This is where Sandland comes into his own here, Jared. He needs to hit the ball into space. You'd think he'd try and go into that 50-metre arc and try and get a player running onto the ball.
The win by Gardner in the ends. Bounce was not what he would have liked.
Oh, quick hands, great hands from the Saints.
There's Gardner, needs clean hands, he's got him. It's all about the kick here around the corner. He draws Dawson to the ball, he doesn't let him down. Too far out for him to score. 55 metres, gee, that's a horrible, horrible kick. Broughton in a time of need. Hill up against it, handball was not great. Stolen in the end. The Saints, Goddard goes wide to Milne. Here's the man with all the tricks. What does he do? He goes short. Didn't quite get to Armitage. Left foot kick around the corner to seal it. Has fallen short. Not marked by Peake. Gets back to his feet. The players had stopped. Hits the behind post.
Good point.
Okay.
Zach Dawson's going to have a look at that drop. That's twice now we've seen him
Drop it too high.
drop the ball way before he should release it.
Fremantle live to fight another day, although it's coming straight back in. Here's Baker and Hayden. Collision course. Pearce was there. Armitage went harder than all of them. And the ball pinned to the back of Pearce. And we'll ball it up, attacking 50 for the Saints.
Let's take a look at the Zach Dawson kick and the way he drops the ball.
Pretty high, it's above his hips. Almost throws it up a little bit when he releases it, doesn't he?
He's got to get a little bit more behind that.
Lenny Hayes, a right foot banana, edging towards goal.
He's full alerted with it a little bit there, Paul Duffield. Looked like he gave him a nice old shove out, but the umpire was kind.
He's going to need 3 goals from Fremantle to hit the front. 7.5 minutes, time starting to become a factor. Here we go. Armitage steals it off Tarrant. Had more time than he thought. Slammed it on the boot and missed.
Last 2 times the ball's gone to Tarrant, he probably should have moved at the ball and taken that mark. With 2 turnovers that have cost the 2 St Kilda shots at goal have been from Tarrant drops a mark.
Try again. They go straight down the middle. Sandy Lands tries to sweep the ball on and keep it moving forward. Hayes is there. And he's won himself a free.
As the game's done, I reckon they'll burn about 3 minutes off the clock here.
Yep. They'll suck them out. They'll suck Freo out.
Got all the players behind the ball, and Fremantle haven't manned them up, so there are loose men everywhere, which will mean they can possess it for at least a minute before Fremantle can shut this down. And Val Clark.
They can't zone off, and I don't think that Freo have realised.
No, they haven't.
They need to start manning up.
They're still not coming forward at them, James. They're sagging off and refusing to come and pick that 4-player line right across the ground for St Kilda.
What this also does, BT, though, is it sucks the Fremantle zone out and means that when they do go forward, there's a lot more space in their forward line.
Baker.
Strange spot to kick it straight to him, though.
Isn't the smartest kick.
Pavlich. Where do you want him now, boys? Forward or in the action?
Oh, the ball's not going forward. He's got to be in the action, I reckon.
Okay. Dalsano. Evasiveness at its best. Lets it rip from 50 metres out. Nick Dalsano has missed.
He's got to go now, Freo, if there's any chance.
I think there's players like Michael Johnson who'll learn that mark should have been taken. He just had to loop a bit harder and go a bit stronger.
Here they go through the middle. Broughton, little kick. Headland went the wrong way. Baker went really hard at it. Headland dumped him right on his back. Stevie Baker wouldn't have liked that.
20 from 20.
Great tackle. Very much in dispute, the ball here right now. Goddard. There's some room to go forward. Duffield will take the mark. 17 points down here. Fremantle. St Kilda look like they're going to remain undefeated, along with Brisbane.
And that just kick went really to no one. Yeah.
Montagna just been able to milk the clock in the last 2 minutes here, St Kilda. Controlling the game, their professionalism, their poise in a pressure situation. Shining through, here's Milne, he'll take the mark. He made that mark more difficult than it should have been. Should have just been a chest mark.
Got to find someone forward now. Back the handball because there's no one to kick it to.
Barlow, great handball. De Boer, Pavlich goes long. No one there. Only Van Berlo working back. Blake there. Oh!
Almost didn't matter. That would have been.
Chris Tarrant's hurt now. They're into the ground as we can have a look now. They want an interchange for him. He's been in the wars all day.
I think
Chris
that's
Tarrant.
the same injury from before, Jared. Some sort of strained muscle in the stomach area or rib problem. 16-point margin, 4.5 minutes time, really against the Fremantle Dockers now.
It's going to play man on man, right on top of them. They lose by 7 goals, doesn't matter.
Well, they've got them now, Jared. They've manned them up. They've all worked forward, so they've organised themselves. But St Kilda, being the pros they are going to try and control this last couple of minutes. Goddard has been superb today in the absence of Riewoldt. If you're wondering, Goddard 5 goals. Duffield. Kick around the corner to Hazelby. Fisher did well, knocked it down.
Too much of that this quarter, Jared, moving through the middle of the ground and turning the ball over. I think that's probably the 6th time the last 10 minutes have turned the ball over just there.
Hazelby went low, beat Armitage to the ball, but helps arrive. And Rafael Clark, this time Armitage went and had a real crack, and this time he beat Hazelby.
In AFL, nowadays BTs, the person who gets lowest normally wins the ball or gets the free kick. It's pretty simple. You just got to get your body as low as you possibly can.
Risky business, isn't it?
Oh, I mean, it's risky business to what can happen to your head when you do go that low. But unless you do go low, possibility of getting reported, and it's very hard to win the balls.
Well, the Saints were challenged today, and they will remain undefeated after 4 rounds and travel to Adelaide with great confidence next week to play Port Adelaide.
Coming in, the focus was very much on how Fremantle would go though, and I think St Kilda, they have probably not got the credit from us at least for how well they have coped without Riewoldt and Kazitsky, because I don't think people have really come to grips with how much Fremantle have improved. This is a quality opposition they've been tested against.
Yeah, I think so. I think you got to just commend St Kilda. I mean, they were without their two big power forwards, without their captain, and we often wondered how they were going to go. But Freo have really improved. They're a quality side, and St Kilda, when they needed to, went just that little bit harder.
Fremantle's next 2 games, both at Subiaco, Richmond next week, and West Coast the week after, so they have a really good opportunity to regroup and get themselves back on track.
Let's just have a look at this Pavlich push. Maybe not as much in as I first thought. Pavlich just added a little bit of mayo on it.
Yeah. There's Ballantyne, a really quiet day for Ballantyne. In fact, the least possessions for any Fremantle player. 6 for him today.
Couple in a row now for Ballantyne. It was important last week in the win, just with a couple of really good possessions, but he needs to address his form before he misses out.
Silvani started with great touch in the first quarter. Main under the Montagna tackle, and players happy for a ball up here.
Main's another one, BT. We've seen him a lot. And he's had games where he's kicked multiple goals, and yet now that he's got a reputation, clubs are starting to put time into him. So we'll get down to him working through just the regular challenges for players as they build their reputation.
Blake, Graham, no one home for the Saints here. Who will win this race with Farron Ray? But the clock is against all here. Kicked by Hill under pressure. Mundy dropped the mark. He had a great 3rd quarter. Mundy had a pretty good game, in fact. McPhee.
Good tackle.
McQuarrie just didn't give him any space at all. Geary, with the arms released in the tackle, sets Ray loose, and he's got loose players everywhere. Dawson's been good since going forward. Kick over the top to Stevie Milne. Waits, gets one in the back. Umpire said you flopped. Umpire had a great view of it. And
They don't like acting, the umps.
No, they don't.
It still pushed him in the back.
I agree with you, but I think Milne put a bit of
I think
extra on it.
He's paid the penalty for years of acting. Even though that one,
Bit of
as you say,
payback.
was probably free. Yeah, well,
Reputation.
got to be certain. As Barlow.
On this performance, Gerard, at Freo capable of making the finals?
I think they'd be rightly disappointed based on the base that they've put in the season today if they didn't make finals footy.
There goes De Boer from 45 out directly in front. He has missed.
Haven't seen eight better sides than the Dockers yet.
Yeah, no, I think so as well. I think they've got the makings of a finals side for sure.
St Kilda have won by 15 points in a crowd 29,814. 16 goals, 12, 108. Fremantle 14-9, 93.
And you just cast your eye across all players. This was a taxing game.
Yeah.
Players from both sides hunched over, absolutely spent. This was a hard-running, hard-fought physical battle.
You look at St Kilda players, and they've had a win. There's no celebrating, is there? It's a couple of shakes of hand. They are done.
All right, Lee Colbert down there on the ground with a big win for St Kilda. 15-point win. Lee Colbert with Steve Milne.
Milne, congratulations, mate. A tough afternoon. They really took it up for you, the Freo boys.
Yeah, thanks, Kirby. We knew it was going to be tough. They've been playing some really good footy and really got to fight in the final minute, and we have to do that tonight. Great effort by the boys.
Yourself took on, obviously, a leadership role in the forward line. I noticed you're typical.